Both teams off a bye. North Carolina State and Syracuse got to rest up, sharpen up the routines, and get everybody fired up at Carter-Finley Stadium tonight. Dino Babers and Syracuse entering a little bit of a hornet's nest, but one of two Syracuse wins all time against the Pack came under Babers last year in high-scoring fashion. Dave Doran, since the start of 2017, he's 14-2 at home. Only Clemson has been better at home out of ACC teams in that stretch. Much like this guy's biceps, we're pumped for this one. NC State and Syracuse get the college football weekend going.
Welcome to College Football Countdown, delivered by Papa John's.
Adam Amin, if you want biceps, you've come to the right place. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, Matt Berry. The college football muscle is back here on ESPN. Week 7 of the college football season.
I can stop
We're
now.
good,
Okay.
yeah. We
I
can
just want to make
close
sure.
on.
College Football Countdown is delivered by Papa John's. Large meats or the works pizza, just $12.
Tommy DeVito coming out of the bye week. Looks healthy. NC State's beaten Syracuse 10 of the last 12, although Syracuse got the win last year. Can NC State get it at home? Find out, bottom of the hour.
College Football Countdown is delivered by Papa John's. Large meats or the works pizza, just $12.
Sports Center tonight after Syracuse, NC State. Kenny Mayne, Kevin Connors recap of the Patriots-Giants game, ALDS Game 5, and hear from the WNBA's first-time champs at Sports Center after college football here on ESPN. As for Syracuse, NC State, each of you give me a nugget and a prediction.
Yeah, Bailey Hawkman in at starting quarterback for NC State. They're looking for a better passing game after that loss to Florida State. But Syracuse now won 2 in a row. They might have things rolling now.
You're smiling. Bailey Hawkman's a Florida State transfer in this one. The biggest issue in their passing game at NC State, missing open guys. So Hawkman's a lefty. He comes in, will play on time, but he better get the ball out quick. Syracuse has a big-time pass rush coming off the edge.
All right, we'll see you guys at the half. Brotherhood, it's all yours.
Mad boys, thanks so much. We appreciate it. They've been tailgating some of these folks, I swear to you, since like 6:30 this morning. Don's Tailgate Club's got food for everybody here, including the men's basketball coach. Kevin Keats knows it's a big game. He showed up tonight, and fresh off the plane from London, Mike Glennon, part of the QBU tradition at NC State. They beat the Bears in London. He comes and watches the Wolfpack on his bye week. It's all part of ESPN Thursday Night College Football, presented by Dave and Buster's. Into the broadcast booth, Adam Amin, Matt Hasselbeck, Pat McAfee, Molly McGrath down on the field in a moment as well. The atmosphere is buzzing. I know that gets you pumped for tonight.
Oh, just like you said, people have been out in these parking lots since 6:30 a.m. I got a chance to chat with Boo Corrigan, the new athletic director here at NC State. He says he wants NC State to be the premier school in North Carolina. A big win in primetime football here on ESPN could help him with that, but the Syracuse Orange are traveling into town to take on Coach Doran and the Wolfpack. Going to see a lot of this tonight. A lot of this for the Wolfpack, and it's Wolfpack for life. We're not certain what's going to happen,
Hollywood
but I'm excited to see it.
Well, the big question is in the passing game. For a long time, this was QBU. Phillip Rivers, Russell Wilson, Jacoby Brissett. Last year's starter, Ryan Finley, is now with the Cincinnati Bengals. Who's going to be the starter tonight? It's Bailey Hawkman. They played 3 quarterbacks last week against Florida State, but Bailey Hawkman, the lefty, the transfer from Florida State, gets the start tonight. They're looking for a better passing game on explosive plays downfield. They think he can deliver, but we'll see. If he doesn't deliver, Dave Doran has shown he's not afraid to change up who's going to play quarterback.
Perfect transition to look at who's slinging it. It is brought to us by Sling TV tonight. Here are the starting quarterbacks. Tommy DeVito has performed well, but in the 2 games against major opponents, Maryland and Clemson, the offense has struggled. On the other side, as Matt mentioned, Bailey Hawkman makes his first career start, got beat up a little bit in his contest against Florida State 12 days ago. For more on the quarterbacks, down to the field and Molly.
Well, Adam, last Monday before the bye, Dave Doran called Bailey Hockman into his office and told him he would get this start against Syracuse, and said he won the job because of his ability to push the ball down the field and spark their offense. But Doran made it clear that backup Devin Leary will see some playing time in this game. And I spoke with Hockman. He said, just as this job was given to me this week, I know how easily it can be taken away. I know that Devin's looking for that opportunity behind me, but I am at my best when I'm faced with pressure. And as for Syracuse, their quarterback, Tommy DeVito, left their last game with an upper body injury. He told me he is healthy and good to go. And in pregame warmups, he showed no signs of limitations or discomfort. Adam.
Great stuff, urgent stuff from Molly before we get set to go between Syracuse and North Carolina State. Tuppy's ready. These two teams won 19 games combined a year ago. They're both 3-2. They're both coming off a bye. They both seek their first ACC win as they close out the first half of the schedule. Kickoff from Raleigh is coming up, but first a look inside Nissan's Heisman House.
Welcome to the Nissan pregame rush. Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Dino Babers leads the Syracuse Orange, coming off just their 7th ever 10-win season in program history, their first since 2001 when Paul Pasqualoni was the head coach. A 51-41 win over NC State at the Carrier Dome last year. Meanwhile, Dave Doran's crew in North Carolina State, 14-2 at home over the last 2+ seasons. Only Clemson has been better in the ACC. They take the field coming off back-to-back 9-win campaigns. Awesome atmosphere tonight. Military Appreciation Night at Carter-Finley Stadium. It is all part of our Nissan pregame rush. Syracuse won the toss. They'll get the ball first. Dino Babers, child of a military family, 58 years of age, was born in Hawaii, grew up near a base in San Diego, ended up going back to Hawaii to play running back and defensive back. ACC co-coach of the year last year. Meanwhile, Dave Doran in his 7th year at North Carolina State, the 47-year-old Kansas native. Big swing game between these two ACC Atlantic Division foes tonight. Away we go. Sean Riley, excellent return man. Hops his way to the 20-yard line with a penalty marker thrown. He's getting a little chippy early tonight.
Then the return, holding number 42 of the return team. The penalty is half the distance. First down.
Tommy DeVito is the Syracuse quarterback, part of the Elite 11 coming up. While recruiting Tommy DeVito, Dino Babers went to his 2nd ever Broadway show, Jersey Boys. And the opening lines in that show include, "My name is Tommy DeVito, and I put New Jersey on the map." DeVito was the lead guitarist and founding member of the Four Seasons. Babers texted Tommy DeVito immediately, said, "I think this is an omen. You belong at Syracuse." He waited behind Eric Dungy. He's the starting quarterback now. They start this drive from the 10-yard line with a Mo Neal run against one of the best rushing defenses in the country, and he gets stacked up after a gain of about a yard.
NC State runs this 3-3-5 defense with Coach Gibby. They love stopping a run quick game here for DeVito outside.
Sean Riley works his way to the 15. Expect as much tempo as humanly possible for Syracuse.
That's right, Adam. Mike Lynch, offensive coordinator, said orange is the new fast. Tempo, tempo, tempo. He told us they ran 85 plays in a 30-minute period in practice. They love this tempo. It's what they do, and they love it with quick screens.
I like that Syracuse won the toss and said, we want the ball. Penalty on the return, backed up. What are you going to do with it, Mr. DeVito?
Just a 3-man rush. DeVito throws underneath. Trying to work forward is Mo Neal, and he's very close to the sticks. This will depend on the spot. Keyshawn Miller was there to make the tackle. It looks like it's going to be short. The punt unit's coming.
Big time tackle here in open space by the corner.
And that's going to be a key tonight. In space, can these defensive backs make tackles? That's a great start for this NC State defense. I think they were helped by the crowd, student section, the band, all of it.
Both teams have very good special teams units. Sterling Hoffrichter, one of the best punters in the country. Thayer Thomas has returned to punt for a score this year against Ball State. Great field position set up for North Carolina State, and Bailey Hockman, who played football at McEachern High School in Georgia, was coached by his dad, Kyle, who's the head coach of the team for 11 years. Kyle had a great record, coached in the Georgia State semifinals. Bailey was a redshirt QB at Florida State before heading to junior college. Got a chance to see a lot of his old teammates in his first major duty last week. And tonight, the left-hander makes his first career start with a long line and specter of great quarterbacks at NC State looming.
Well, we mentioned QBU, and he's wearing that 16 that Russell Wilson wore when he played here.
Got a patch on his jersey to commemorate that as well. He's got an open man on the first play of the game, and it is caught by Devin Carter. Down to the 31-yard line, the redshirt freshman.
I don't know if Devin Carter catches this ball or him. They did the fake screen, the missile screen, and they're going with tempo. Another play right away.
They said they needed explosive plays early there. They take a little bit of a shot in a bucket for a 27-yard gain, first play of the game.
They came into action tonight with just 4 completions of 20-plus yards in the last 3 games, already with a 27-yarder. Here comes a freshman running back in Jordan Houston, and already NC State is into the red zone.
And I love what they did with that first play. They're saying, hey, a quarterback in his first start. Syracuse is probably thinking we're going to be conservative. We pretend like we're going to go with that conservative now screen, just throw it right away. And they take the shot right away on the first play.
They go 42 yards on the last 2 plays. Right back to Houston. Not a lot of room. He'll get maybe a yard. The ball came out loose, but the play is whistled down.
This NC State team is banged up a little bit. They've been plagued with a little bit of injury, especially on the offensive line. That explosive shot early will hopefully release a little bit of pressure off of that O-line so they can't pack the box in on Syracuse or for NC State tonight. That's a big play. First play of the game right there. Take a shot. Sets the tone.
Both teams substitute. Officials held it up to make sure both teams had an opportunity there. Jordan Houston lined up as a wide receiver. The left-handed Hockman under pressure, and smartly will toss it away. Incomplete. The pressure from Kendall Coleman. There are 2 excellent defensive ends for Syracuse in Coleman and Alton Robinson.
They really are, and they went empty backfield, meaning 5 protectors, just offensive linemen, no running back in the backfield. So those tackles are going to be one-on-one against 2 great, and I mean great pass rushers for Syracuse.
You talked about it, Mathis and Freeney in some ways for those Syracuse fans?
Well, I will say I played against both of those guys, and Dwight Freeney being a Syracuse guy, if he can tee off, if for some reason NC State gets behind tonight,
3rd and long, too.
That's exactly what they want to do.
Our impact players going up against a banged-up offensive line. Hockman, plenty of time. Fires back of the end zone through the uprights. Does not go for 3. Instead, was looking for Kerry Angeline and will bring up 4th down.
They rush 3 there. Incredible protection by this offensive line that is banged up, that doesn't know what it's going to do. Hockman took his time, tried to find something, ultimately just threw it away out of the back of the end zone. No hurries, no worries. Let's get 3 points on the board with our very talented kicker.
Christopher Dunn, excellent freshman season, has missed a field goal in 3 straight games. All of them have been beyond 40. This one from 32. Rock solid. We've got great special teams here tonight in Raleigh. But how about the start? First career start for Bailey Hockman. Gets the big play to get him comfortable. And the Wolfpack are on the board first. You're watching the ACC on ESPN, and Matt Hasselbeck, you were out and about in Raleigh early, my man.
Hey, these guys were out there 3 hours earlier than me. It was cold out there. They got a fire going. The tailgate scene here in Raleigh was strong. That's me proving that it was 9:30. I said, hey, man, can we see what's under there? I wasn't expecting to see that. Whew. Impressive, though. But parking spot 10 if you're looking for a great tailgate here at an NC State game.
Syracuse's offense will head out to the 25-yard line after a 3-and-out on the opening series. Tommy DeVito, redshirt sophomore out of Cedar Grove, New Jersey, made 8 appearances off the bench behind Eric Dungy last year. Played 1 series against NC State in that 10-point Syracuse win, went 3-and-out on that series. Eric Dungy obviously was the heartbeat of this team, and Molly and the rest of the crew asked Dino Babers, who's going to be the next guy to step up as a leader? Tommy DeVito's going to have that weight on his shoulders as the QB.
Well, he comes from Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey. That's a great high school program, but he's a young player. Got his first home start against Clemson. That's tough sledding. That's tough sledding.
Play action on first down. Didn't have the look he wanted and ended up tossing the ball away. Let's see if there's going to end up being a penalty marker thrown here for intentional grounding.
I'm no ref, but it did appear as if he threw that one to, yeah, there we go. And the flag comes down. Much to the chagrin of the Wolfpack here.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 13. The penalty is lost down at the spot of the foul. Second out.
And again, if you're inside the tackle box, which DeVito is, there has to be a receiver in the area if you're under duress. Clearly under duress with 2 white-jerseyed Wolfpack coming at him, and he got rid of it to no one in particular. Hence the intentional grounding, a loss of down, and the penalty goes back to the spot.
That's the inexperience though, right, Matt? I mean, that's just being a young player. He'll learn from it.
Trying to stretch to the edge. Finding Tristan Jackson, the transfer from Michigan State, who's a big play threat for Cuse.
Yeah, I think you're right, Pat. It's just a reactionary thing. You panic that your first read wasn't there. You're taught, throw it away. Dino Babers told us he was going to tell Tommy DeVito, be needy, not greedy. I don't actually know what that means, but maybe Tommy DeVito does. That's 2 penalties for Syracuse to start tonight. Not ideal. A conversion here would be very helpful.
Swinging out to Mo Neal, the North Carolina native. Excellent open field tackle for the Wolfpack D by Tayshawn Smith, the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale.
That's 2 drives in a row where the corners have made a big-time open field tackle. Tayshawn here wraps up the ankles, get him down. I mean, that is a huge tackle on the 3rd down.
And the co-defensive coordinator, Coach Gibson, he coached at West Virginia last year. And who did they play in the bowl game? Syracuse. So it's pretty good. He gets to go right back to his film, what worked. He said he knows this offense well.
Coach Gibby recruited me to West Virginia. Known that kid since I was 17. Big time ball here.
Fair catch from Thayer Thomas at the 40-yard line. NC State gets the ball back with more good field position. They took advantage of it on the last drive as part of our Enterprise Drive recap. How do you feel about giving Bailey Hockman the go on the first play?
I love it. I love it. And it sends a message to your team. It says, listen, this is our guy. We believe in him. We're going to be aggressive. We're playing to win. We're not playing not to lose. And then the true freshman on the sweep. The offensive line did a great job, but Pat, I know you're a kicker, punter. The more field goals they kick, the closer they are to losing. They got to punch it in the red zone. They got to score touchdowns, not field goals tonight.
I think we can all concur with that, but 3 points is better than 0, Matthew.
Good math right there.
That's a heck of a throw.
Out route as he's able to find Emeka Imezi for a first down at 12. Down to Molly.
Adam, NC State fans started a Bailey Hockman chant in the student section after that first drive, and Dave Doran told Hockman right before he took the field, you didn't go through everything that you went through to not play well tonight. And Hockman was very vocal on the sideline just now, yelling and encouraging teammates. He's owning this role, Adam.
I'm going to give him another shot with 5 receivers in the pattern, and he's able to connect. He's got Imezi again, their leading receiver. So one of the big factors for NC State, right? The first 5 games, they were 1 for 24 on passes of 20-plus air yards. That means balls that travel, not just completions that go for 20-plus. Already had one big one on the opening play tonight. And now Zonovan Knight will take it close to the sticks.
And guys, we got to watch practice yesterday, and I'll say I saw more deep throws, deep shots in that practice than I see at most practices. So they were clearly making an emphasis of it. Coach Doran said, listen, we got to find a way to get more efficient and more explosive. And if you're a wide receiver, you love hearing that. These guys are geeked up tonight for the chances that they're going to get.
Full house backfield, a little bit of a diamond look.
Just as I'm saying the wide receivers are going to get an opportunity, we get extra linemen in the game.
We'll give it to Knight with that blocking in front, and he picks up the first down on 3rd and short.
Going back to Molly's point about Bailey Hockman here yelling on the sideline and owning the role of being the starting quarterback for Quarterback University, which is what NC State is referred to. Last night, Coach Doran said he needs somebody on the team to take ownership. And I like the fact that they're giving him an opportunity to do it by making plays on the field with his arm, and also on the sideline he's taking ownership. That's good news for the NC State Wolfpack.
And we asked him about Bailey. He said he's not super vocal. He's been vocal so far tonight.
Gets it out quick. That was a close play. Boy, Trill Williams, the nickelback, is really good at getting to the football. He nearly got to that football there, intended for Devin Carter.
I mean, just an incredible break on the ball, and then he gives a "not today" with a little swipe down there. That was an incredible defensive play. Good hands there by the corner, which is a pretty vital asset to have as a corner.
Strong, very important.
Thank you.
4 wides, guys, they're spreading it up. They're going pretty multiple with their personnel groups and their formations.
And they'll run out of a 4-wide look with Knight once again, and he has a good run close to the line to gain at the 26. Remember tonight, no Ricky Person. He injured his leg against Florida State. He was their sophomore lead running back. It's running back by committee tonight.
And up here in the boxes, you got all these assistant coaches, and they're cataloging, okay, when we go with this personnel group in this formation, here's how they adjust. What about when we go extra linemen? Here's how they adjust. And they're planning for the plays that they're going to come back to in later in this game or in the second half.
Right back to Zonovan Knight. He gets swallowed up after a yard by the Orange D.
A little bit of recon work here. We'll probably throw that one out in particular.
And Pat, you would say that we're in field goal range here. And so as a quarterback, when Mike Holmgren was my coach, he would say, listen, we have 3 points essentially if we trust our kicker.
Which they do.
This is a touchdown check-down operation. If we get press man-to-man, which we're getting right here, you can take a one-on-one shot outside if you want it. If it's caught, it's a touchdown.
Knight on the perimeter, chased down by Kingsley Jonathan off the edge. Another 1-yard gain. 3rd down and 8 coming up. From here, it'd be about a 42 or 43-yard field goal for Christopher Dunn, well within his range.
I think a little zone read there.
And I think that was an example of a play where we're cataloging it, okay? We're going to show a jet sweep motion this way, an inside zone that way. But again, you're going to get one-on-one technique, man coverage outside.
They've got 6'4" in Carter and 6'3" in Imezi on the outsides. Blitz from the Orange coming. Hockman steps into the sack. Andrew Armstrong is part of a really good linebacker duo with Lakeem Williams. Big-time play on the interior for Syracuse.
And if I'm a quarterback, the thing I can't do there, I don't want to take a sack, right? We talked about, yes, it's a field goal in the bank, but you can't make it harder on your guy. So right there, I get it. Your first read wasn't open. You got to try to throw that football away.
So it'll be another field goal try, already good from 32. This time, Dunn will go for a season-long 43. His career long is 49.
That baby, with an incredible gap up with the holder afterwards, which I absolutely love. 2 starts with great field position, ends up with 2 field goals for the Wolfpack. 6-0 here in the first quarter in Raleigh, North Carolina.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is presented by Dave & Buster's. Download the new Dave & Buster's Fun app today.
Did you ask for the Torrey Holtz just out of curiosity? Nice and shiny.
That was my guy.
A nice little cut. Well, it's fitting tonight because they're honoring Torrey Holtz here at NC State, one of the great wide receivers, college football Hall of Famer, ACC Player of the Year, Super Bowl champ, part of the greatest show on turf.
Dave Doran has a barber shop in the locker room here at NC State, so I'm getting my head shaved. Who do I see? My old nemesis, Torrey Holt, when he was with the St. Louis Rams. Shout out to the barber, Devin Henderson, for giving a great trim on the beard.
That was probably the shortest haircut he's ever had to give.
No, man, we used a real knife. We used a real blade. No shaving cream, real blade.
The kids have to pay for that haircut, right?
That's true.
Can't get a free haircut
It's
here
an
in
extra benefit, so they have to pay for it.
Mike Glennon and Torrey Holt
See, Mike Glennon got the haircut.
You guys, it must be an NC State thing.
Hey, can we just go back to Torrey Holt?
Yeah, please, please.
The greatest show on turf. They were so good.
Yeah.
When Mike Martz was calling plays for them, when I was with Seattle, our challenge was to find a way to beat that team. And that was not an easy task.
We'll talk with Torrey Holt as the night goes on tonight. Boys, give me a little more NFL love.
Our Week 6 Monday Night Football matchup is a big NFC North game at Lambeau Field between Matty Stafford and the Lions versus Aaron Rodgers and the 4-1 Packers. 8 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 p.m. American Standard Time.
Wow, it's pretty good. Well, Pat, Sunday Countdown Sunday at 10 a.m. That's my other show. We got Russell Wilson up against Baker Mayfield.
I got that game on radio, by the way.
Well, let's go, Adam. I mean, let's go. We'll pregame it for you. And Patrick Mahomes, he's got another big one. Is he healthy? How's the ankle?
He was jogging around today at practice, which is big. Speaking of jogging around, ran right into a wall there. Running back for Syracuse.
That is a big boy, Aleem McNeil, who's got what, Pat? A 600-pound squat.
Got a chance to run into the strength coach last night, and he told me big boy squats 600. And that's knee or ass to ground, not a fake squat, he says.
And he's very flexible.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
Agile.
There he is again, making another monster play on the outside. And that 3-3-5 stack, you're looking for your nose tackle to do a lot of damage on the offensive line because you got to make up for the lack of numbers up front. He's been able to do that.
And they're so good against the run. They're number 6 in the country against the run, and that helps them get third and longs.
Full team substitute again as Syracuse loves that tempo. Just a 3-man rush. All day for DeVito, but nothing downfield. He'll launch it away.
And they tell you to throw it in the second row when you're throwing it away. He literally threw it in the second row. Great catch by the fan there.
They showed a little disguise. They brought the linebackers up to show if they were going to bring pressure. They didn't. They dropped back. Couldn't find anybody open. With the 3-man rush, he throws it away. Second row.
And Pat, I'm going to test your math here, okay? They've had 3 drives and 9 plays. So how many 3-and-outs is that?
That would be 3.
There you go, Pat. There you go, Pat.
I'm a mathematist, scientician as well.
I tried not to laugh. Sorry.
We're all holding back there.
Bomb for this kid. That is a big ball, an NFL ball, fair catch, 2 in a row. Good for the Syracuse kid. 4.94 hang, by the way.
50-yard punt on that play here at Carter-Finley Stadium. PlayStation Player Impact rating on a scale of 0 to 100 on how much a player impacts a game. 93 is the rating for the sophomore from New York, Andre Sisco. All-American as a freshman, the only true freshman on the Walter Camp All-American list. 7 picks last year. He was a 50-50 shot to play tonight on a banged-up Syracuse defensive backfield. Keon Lassane on the carry, and we go down to Molly McGrath for more.
Well, Adam, Dino Babers told me that Andre Sisco probably won't play tonight, but take that with a grain of salt. He said he perhaps could play, but isn't fully healthy. They don't want to risk further injury because he's too valuable to the team. And I watched Sisco warm up. He moved really well laterally and backwards and while running in a straight line, so it looks like he's very close to returning, Adam.
He and Ifeatu Melifonwu, the excellent corner, have missed the last 2 games with lower body injuries. Melifonwu did not even make the trip. They've used Antoine Cordy in multiple positions. They've had to lean on a lot of younger guys. And the senior Scoop Bradshaw has stepped up as well. Bailey Hockman taking another shot. incomplete. Trying to find Emeka Emezi, and right on cue, Antoine Cordy was step for step with the receiver.
Great pass breakup, great coverage by him. NC State has done a good job of keeping them lateral with runs and then taking a shot. That ball was a little bit underthrown, but Bailey Hockman has started out pretty nice here tonight.
Yeah, a little bit underthrown, and I would like to see that ball up high where the wide receiver can go get it. Emezi, he's 6'3", and he's every bit of it. Give your guy a chance to go up against the shorter corner.
Cordy only 5'8" on the defensive back position. Hockman being chased by Kendall Coleman, throws across his body, and Emezi holds on across the 40 for a first down.
And really nice job by Hockman. 2 hands on the ball in the pocket, makes the defender miss. His eyes are downfield. Emezi works for him, works back inside. Very, very well done. It's third down conversions like that that are going to be key to the victory tonight.
Throw it to the outside for Tamari Hines, the former Oregon Duck and Wake Forest Demon Deacon. The grad transfer picks up about 4 or 5 here. They'll put him at the 45.
I know it's early in the game here, but that Syracuse offense going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and a lot of movement here for NC State. This Syracuse defense is going to be tested in conditioning-wise.
Hand off to Jordan Houston. Not a lot of room. Kingsley Jonathan, one of the guys in there, wrapped up by a big dude.
And really, listen, that was Alton Robinson who got in there with penetration early. We mentioned tonight there's a lot of NFL scouts here, GMs. This is one of the guys they're here to see. This is a day 1 draft pick. He's just gonna wreak havoc in the run game, in the pass game. He's a complete player.
13 NFL teams are represented in their scouting departments tonight at this game. Under pressure, a back foot throw for Devin Carter, incomplete. Hockman hit the deck hard. Evan Foster, Alton Robinson making the contact in the backfield.
And this was something that Coach Doran said that the team respected, as Bailey Hockman was able to take a beating last game and get right back up. That's 2 big-time hits he just took there at the same time. Gets right back up, keeps it moving. Now we got to see if Syracuse's offense can get anything done here early. I like this punter a lot, by the way.
Late substitution for Syracuse. They didn't have enough guys on the field.
Trenton Gill punts it away. And into the end zone it goes. That's a net of 35, Pat. I know you don't love that.
I feel like that was my fault again because I like the guy.
As soon as you say good things, it's done. It's done.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
We talked about Eric Dungy, who is the quarterback on this roster, known as the heartbeat of the Syracuse team, all part of that incredible season last year where they won 10 games for the first time in 17 seasons. Outstanding offensive numbers, put up 11,000 total yards, 90-plus TDs. Phillip Rivers, Lamar Jackson, Taj Boyd, Deshaun Watson, and Eric Dungy are the only 5 ACC quarterbacks to do it. It's a big spot to fill for Tommy DeVito, but he's got to do it.
Heck yeah, Dungy, that was impressive. I mean, that highlight reel, I could watch that again. He was a great runner, very good leader. They got Wildcat here.
They got to start from the 10 after a holding penalty on the return, and Abdul Adams will take it to the 14-yard line to set up 2nd down and 6.
Got a little Wildcat in there, and the field position has been heavily in NC State's favor due to the penalty, starting on the 10-yard line again. Not making it easy for DeVito in this offense, but here we go. We're back to the Wildcat.
And when you don't run the ball, when you rush the ball for -1 yard, you're looking for a spark, and Wildcat, they're hoping that can be the thing that gives them the spark.
They get a 1st down from Abdul Adams this time. That's their first down. They went 3 and out on their first 3 series.
Well, we mentioned NC State is so good against the run. We mentioned the D-line up front. They've been very stout. I mean, number 6 in the country against the run, number 1 in the ACC. You have to find creative ways to run the football.
They'll do it again with Abdul Adams. Works himself ahead, and let's see if the Syracuse tempo can pick up a little bit. That's something that Mike Lynch, their offensive coordinator, talked to us about this week. You have the time clock in the upper left corner. They'd love to run about 85 plays. They've only been averaging 74.5 in their first 5 games this year.
Not ridiculously fast here, but DeVito's back in the game.
Go right back. to DeVito under center now. Off the play action fake. That deep out for Tristan Jackson, but it's incomplete with Chris Ingram in coverage. Under Dino Babers, this team has averaged about 82 plays per game. They've been top 5 in FBS the last 2 years in total plays run. Not nearly where they want to be so far this season. There's an injured Wolfpack player on the ground. That's Val Martin, the redshirt junior. Second year at North Carolina State after a stint at Iowa Western Community College. Val Martin limping as he works on the sideline. Third down coming up for Syracuse and Tommy DeVito. Dancing in the pocket, still on his feet. Needs the 32-yard line, and he will be short. And that will take us to the end of the opening quarter. 2 field goals thus far for the Wolfpack. Raleigh, North Carolina, the site. This was a high-scoring affair a year ago. 51-41 Syracuse at the Dome. Tonight, 6 on the board so far. Welcome back to ESPN Thursday Night College Football, presented by Dave and Buster's. Great atmosphere at Carter-Finley Stadium tonight. 2 field goals for North Carolina State, and the defense has been rock solid, forcing a 4th punt for Sterling Hoffrichter.
Some have said this is the most exciting play in football. And that is a bomb from Hoffrichter. He had a 4.9 last time. That's a 5.0. Not a lot of college kids can do that, and their offense needs them to keep going.
Back-to-back 50-yard punch for Sterling Hoffrichter. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo. Top 20 matchup. Big game in the Big Ten. Penn State has 25 sacks this year. Iowa gave up 8 sacks against Michigan in their last week's loss. For the last time Iowa knocked off Penn State, you got to go back to 2010. Ricky Stanzi was the QB. Sean Prater had the big interception. 5 straight wins, though, for Penn State since then. Here is some of the trickery that North Carolina State has been known for. Keon Lassane, true freshman out of Lumberton, North Carolina, will take it out near the 30-yard line. This is something that we've gotten used to seeing from North Carolina State the last several years.
We sure have, and they did it with Devin Leary as the quarterback. So the backup quarterback comes in. They're going to get him some snaps. There's nothing that Hockman did wrong, but they start him out with the reverse. Dave Doran loves these trick plays.
Devin Leary, redshirt freshman out of New Jersey, made his college football debut in the last game against Florida State. Zonovan Knight wrapped up close to the sticks. They haven't whistled it yet until now. We'll see where the forward progress took him.
Kind of funny, we're down here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we're watching 2 quarterbacks from New Jersey go to work. The Jersey boys.
Coach Gibby, the D coordinator for NC State, guy recruited me to West Virginia, good man, told me last night, hey, that freshman from New Jersey, Leary, can spin it. Can spin it. That boy can spin it. I love everything about it.
And guys, I was really impressed with just this quarterback room. Matt McKay, the guy who started last game, Bailey Hockman, Devin Leary, just how unified they are. It's like the team comes first. We're all excited. We're all rooting for each other.
Matt McKay started the first 5 games of the year. Another guy who waited his turn last year behind Ryan Finley. Again, nothing that really Dave Doran could pinpoint other than what we talked about at the top, just needing to stretch the ball downfield a little bit more in the passing game. That's why Hockman got the start and why Leary's going to get a little action tonight. And here comes his first throw of the night. Over the top, and it is complete to Thayer Thomas inside the 45.
I mean, what a perfectly placed ball right here, only where his guy can get it. Little back shoulder up in the air, let the tight end go up and grab that thing.
Well, it's a wide receiver, but he can play like a tight end. He plays big. Thayer Thomas, the slot guy, former walk-on. Nice play, and now they're taking a shot right off of it.
What a dive by Keon Lassane. It is incomplete.
They go back to the play that they started the game with. Similar formation. They fake the now screen. They fake the missile screen. It's called missile go. Fake the missile outside, and then you stock block and get upfield. Would have been a great catch. The pass was a little bit off target.
By the way, how about this redshirt freshman just coming out and slinging this thing all over the yard? Got to make that catch, obviously, but I like what we're seeing from Devin Leary here early.
I would say got to make that throw.
Oh, really? Missed him.
Toss play for Zonovan Knight. Has a big hole, and he takes it for a first down inside the 35. Dylan Parham, one of the tight ends, with a block, but we also have a penalty marker thrown.
2 of them.
And one on the far side and one late on the 40 on the near side. Riley Johnson, our lead official tonight on this ACC crew.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul. Illegal side block. Offense number 74. Penalties decline. Holding. Offense number 66. 10 yards from the previous spot. Second out.
They tag both members of the right side of the offensive line. Emmanuel McGirt at right tackle, who is in for the injured Justin Witt, who's out after an injury against Florida State. The holding against Josh Fett-Jackson will be the penalty that is accepted.
Kind of tackles him there.
Well, it's a run to daylight. Sometimes when there's such a big hole, these referees feel like, well, maybe something happened, and we throw our flag.
I like to believe that there's a little bit more nuance to it.
Well, I would like to believe that too. But I will say this, that the challenge for NC State, they've got kind of a revolving door thing. They've got 3 people playing left and right tackle, and they're just sort of rotating them through. And that puts a little bit of extra stress on these guys. Playing left tackle, right tackle. It'd be like playing third base and first base.
Right.
It is a little bit different. You got to get in a left-handed stance, right-handed stance, etc.
I'm intrigued by the decision to take the holding and not the personal foul. 10 instead of 15. I guess the spot was up. Redshirt freshman here now. 2nd and 20. See how he reacts.
The handoff tonight. You guys were talking about some of the maneuvering that has been done for this North Carolina State Wolfpack team, in particular on the offensive line, but they've lost 2 captains as well. C.J. Riley was their vertical threat. Dylan Autenreith was a captain, a good blocking tight end. Maybe their top defensive back, Nick McLeod, has been out as of late. Ricky Person, an outstanding running back. Riley was lost before the season, and then Justin Witt is out tonight as well.
Everybody has that next man up philosophy, but it's tough whenever you lose almost everybody you're depending upon, especially 2 captains.
And you're losing captains, vocal leaders, all of that stuff. Empty backfield here again for NC State.
3rd and 17. Leary somehow still alive. Still on his feet. Slips the tackle from Robinson. Looking downfield, and he lost the football. Got hit hard finally by Kendall Coleman. Boy, Robinson nearly had him, and then Coleman will end up with the knockaway.
And he loses.
So no sack on the play, incomplete forward pass.
I mean, at some point, your clock has to go off. Like, get rid of the ball. What are you doing? You lose your shoe, and then you're thinking, oh, maybe I'll just stop and throw the ball deep. It's not going to happen. Cut your losses.
He's young, but whenever you got Kendall Coleman on the other side, number 55, I'd be getting that ball out of my hand immediately.
Since it was a ruling of an incomplete pass, the ball will be brought back to the previous spot. 4th down.
Should be 4th down and 17 if it's an incomplete pass. By the way,
Gardner Minshew is at home saying, throw it away. If Gardner Minshew is saying throw it away, throw it away.
I like him being creative there. They're running for his life out there.
Well, you're not kidding about those defensive ends, though, man. Robinson and Coleman are freaks. Another end zone punt. That is a net of 32. Well, this was entertaining to watch.
We talk about being fearless and not giving up on the play. I like your admiration, but come on, man.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football. Brought to you by General Mills. Bring more to your game day with General Mills tailgate recipes. See what you can create at wearetailgatenation.com.
That nightmare fuel is Pyro Man at NC State's Wilson College of Textiles. It's a life-size mannequin used to evaluate performance of thermal protective clothing, creating a realistic simulation of a flash fire and analyzing the response of heat sensors. Deep pass from Tommy DeVito downfield, incomplete. Good coverage from Keyshawn and Miller. By the way, they're trying to make their own uniforms at NC State here, so that's kind of a cool thing to check out. The defense for NC State has been something to check out so far tonight. Syracuse only 27 first-quarter yards.
Those all came with the Wildcat almost.
Little backwards pass there that time. Trying to make something happen for Sean Riley, but he'll end up running the football for a punt.
Well, you said it, Pat. It's a backwards pass. It looks like it's going to be a double pass, but Tristan Jackson feels like, I'm not open. I'm not going to run around. I'm just going to turn around and block for you.
Great discipline by this NC State defense there with young corners staying on their guys.
DeVito rifles one for a first down to Sean Riley out to the 34.
Really nice pass on third down. I like Sean Riley. I was talking to the Syracuse local media. They weren't as high on him as I am. I think he's a pretty good player. They love this kid, Tristan Jackson, though. Say he's a player.
Michigan State transfer, takes it close to the sticks and has the first down.
Tempo, tempo, tempo. The first couple series there, they weren't moving as fast as I assume Coach Davis would want them to.
And this is a now and later offense, meaning we're going to throw it to you right now on like one of those now screens, a quick hitch just like that, or we're going to take it over the top on a go route, a post route. And 86, Tristan Jackson, he's the guy.
They set up a screen for Mo Neal. Gastonia, North Carolina native, right out towards the sticks again at the 43. Gastonia out near Charlotte, about 180 miles southwest of Raleigh.
63, Evan Adams, left guard, making a big play there on the screen. You need the big guys to get out in space for you on screen plays, especially delay ones. And when you're 6'6", 352 like Evan Adams, it's nice to see the big guy eat a little bit out in space.
Fourth-year starter who has the most starts on the roster, Evan Adams. He's got 39 counting tonight.
6'6", 350.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big.
A lot of pressure on DeVito, and down he goes. Louis Asus getting into the backfield, the junior from New York.
And guys, I don't know if you played Tecmo Bowl, but if you pick pass two and your opponent runs pass two, that's what the pass protection looks like. No chance for the quarterback.
That's a perfect dial-up from the NC State defense. They're said they're going to bring pressure.
Louis Asus now has 2.5 sacks in his career. They've all come in the last 3 games. And they're bringing more pressure with Asus, and DeVito has to sling it into the ground. Will this be another potential penalty? He may have still been in the tackle box going straight back. The tackle box goes from the tackles all the way back to the goal line.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 13. Also down at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
And they're moving backwards even further.
Well, DeVito's looking for number 21 is running back Mo Neal. He can't find him. He just kind of hucks it at the foot or the feet of the offensive line. And the referee says that's not close enough. I'm throwing the flag. Dino Babers, he doesn't like it. He disagrees, but it's the right call without question. Minus 15 yards.
3rd and 99 for the Syracuse Orange here. What looked to be a promising drive, they've just kicked themselves in the toe time and time again.
And only 20 plays so far tonight for Syracuse, a team that prides themselves on going fast. Orange is the new fast. They cannot be happy with that. This crowd is coming alive.
Draw play for Mo Neal. And it's shut down by Isaiah Moore out at the 42-yard line. And picked up 12 of the 37 necessary, so it'll be another punt for Sterling Hoffrichter.
Matt, I've sat in some offensive meetings. Not enough. How many plays do you have for 3rd and 37?
You know what? You usually go with a draw, and you're just saying, hey, punter, give us some good field position. We'll come to the sideline, and we'll regroup. This punter's been outstanding tonight.
Very impressive. His hang time is next level, which, by the way, you eliminate returners.
What do you think, over 5 or under 5 on this punt?
That one right there will be a 5.07 probably.
Close, buddy, 4.9.
4.9.
On the next side.
Took the under.
Well, North Carolina State's offense is coming back out to the field. Torrey Holt was pretty good as an offensive player, ACC Player of the Year. We'll talk with him on the other side.
Welcome back to Raleigh. I'm here with NC State legend Torrey Holt, who was just honored in the first quarter for his induction in the College Football Hall of Fame. But Torrey, first thing, I got to ask you about that pass from Mike Glennon in that catch in the end zone. You showed everyone that you still got it.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. You know, he's in NFL game mode, and you know, I'm on the couch mode. But he put it out there, and I was saying one thing to myself: you better not drop this football. So I had to extend out for it, but it was great. You know, I said something earlier about it today in the lunch, and the Pack family made it happen for me. So I appreciate Mike coming out and tossing me the ball.
It was pretty cool that you had that great catch in the end zone, especially because around us all right now, people are chanting Torrey. Definitely still huge fans of yours. What does it mean to you to get recognized here at this stadium?
No, it's awesome. You know, this is home. You know, I grew up in Gibsonville, North Carolina. Had an opportunity to come here and play college ball in the state of North Carolina. So these people grew up with me, and I grew up with them. And so they show respectable love. I do the same. So it's special. And then for my family to be here, my teammates to be here, it's just a great moment. It's been great all day. So I'm really excited and very humbled to be able to celebrate this with my Pack fans.
11 NC State players have gone out to the NFL the past 2 years. Yeah. What is it about this program that breeds success to the next level?
Well, I think it's the consistency in the message. These guys work extremely hard. They challenge and they push each other. One of the things I like about Coach Doran is he obviously brings a ton of freshmen. He does a really good job in recruiting, but the guys compete. And they go after the job, so those jobs are earned. So that's why you're seeing the development in the program, guys going off into the National Football League. And what I like, too, is the guys come back and share the message that you see Mike's here, I'm here. We come back and we share the message with these guys and try to help them. Because we have so many fellas that want to go to the next level. But what is it like? Well, we're able to share with them real stories and how to get there.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations on the honor.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Go Pack.
Adam.
Molly, great stuff with Torrey Holt. Kendall Coleman picks up the sack after Devin Carter had the big gain. It'll be 3rd down and long coming up for North Carolina State, guys.
Yeah, and it's great to see Torrey Holt. Guys do come back. Bradley Chubb came back a Thursday night game last year. We called here. Torrey Holt, one of the all-time greats. He's got 2 high school daughters that are hoping to play soccer in the ACC when they get to college.
Torrey Holt has actually coached a couple of the guys that are on the current NC State roster. Screen against the blitz, and that gets blown up by Eric Coley. This kid has stepped up with some of the injuries in the secondary, but he read the screen perfectly.
This is what happens when you come across the field. Bang! Shoulder on shoulder, perfect form. Blown up here on 3rd down.
Hockman and Hines are good friends. I hope their friendship can make it through this.
Oh, man.
There are some friendships that have been split up over much less than that. That was a tough one.
Eric Coley's stepdad is Vincent Reynolds. He's the defensive tackle coach for Syracuse. That looked like a defensive tackle play.
And a good job by Coley not getting a penalty. He could have blown him up even more.
Okay, interesting little thing here. They made a check to put that ball on a roll, get it on the ground inside the 20 here.
That's been an issue this season for Trenton Gill. That's just the 5th punt inside the 20 on 23 kicks this year. A look at beautiful downtown Raleigh, one of the fastest growing cities in the country. ACC's all-time leader in receiving yards, Torrey Holt, over 3,300 in his career, one of several retired numbers at North Carolina State. That number 81, no one will ever wear it again. Love those jerseys, too, by the way. Huge names and numbers. Mike Black, our spotter, is salivating over those jerseys right now.
But if you have a lot of letters in your last name, what do?
You start really big, and like you do, you know, when you write the card, you get a little smaller as you get to the side of it. Tommy DeVito starts this drive from the 18 with a handoff for Mo Neal. Isaiah Moore on the tackle. And some great stuff from Torrey Holt as a college player and as an NFL player.
You know, in the NFL, he had a guy throwing to him that was stocking shelves in a grocery store. They became the greatest show on turf.
Iowa Barnstormer Kurt Warner. Christian Jackson here. The Michigan State transfer has it out across the 30 and a 1st down.
And so, listen, I'm getting my haircut in the barbershop in the NC State locker room.
Loosely used term.
And I'm talking to Torrey Holt, and I said, Torrey Holt, hey, listen, man, who's going to get the game ball after this game? And he gives me a name. And I said, okay, what if it's Syracuse? What if Syracuse wins this game? And he said, 86, Christian Jackson. And Tommy DeVito thought the same thing, and Tristan ran a comeback instead of a go-round.
Yep.
A little zig instead of zag situation. Last series, Syracuse was able to move and then just shot themselves in the foot repeatedly until they had a 3rd and 40. get a first down here, keep it moving. The Syracuse offense has to get something going.
And you thought maybe that hit by Coley would give him a little momentum, a little juice, a little life.
And maybe it has.
Sean Riley makes the catch. It gets tumbled down at the 40-yard line. We'll pick up 7. Much more manageable 3rd down and 3 coming up. Tanner Ingle made the stop.
And guys, I think yards after the catch are a key factor tonight. You have these wide receivers on these now routes, on these shallow crosses. Explosive passes. They don't have to be thrown down the field all the time. Yards after the catch. So far tonight, we've seen good tackling by the defensive backs.
Little swing to the outside for Neal, and he picks up the first down. Stepped out of bounds at the 45.
It really feels like this NC State defense has decided that they're going to make Tommy DeVito beat them with his arm. They've been dropping a lot back. They haven't been getting a lot of pressure.
And they're mixing it up, Pat. You know, they've got co-defensive coordinators. One guy's a 4-down guy. One guy's a 3-down guy.
Ball start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Ryan Alexander on the penalty, the right tackle.
Kind of daring him to throw the ball. That's like 4th penalty on Syracuse here early, 5th penalty. Plus they didn't have a guy on the 5th penalty earlier.
It's the 5th penalty, and you know, really, that just comes down to discipline. These are like when you just, you know, you mentioned it, shooting yourself in the foot before the snap penalty, knowing what the snap count is, knowing what the cadence is.
They're coming off a bye week too, so a lot of prep here.
This crowd on 3rd down has been very loud. On 1st down, not so much.
DeVito being chased by Brock Miller out of bounds. And again, ends up running backwards, stepping out for a loss. It ends up being officially a sack for North Carolina State.
This 3-man front has been very much just keeping them contained, keep everybody in coverage. He's got no shot.
And Brock Miller really does a nice job of chasing DeVito down. DeVito's got to throw that ball away. You can't take the sack. My offensive linemen, they would just crush me if I ever took a freebie sack like that. That goes on their stats, and they would love to see a throwaway there. And I can promise you, offensive coordinator Mike Lynch, he would rather have 2nd and 10 right now.
Another penalty flag thrown.
False start, another one here. Back him up.
False start. Offense number 57. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Another penalty. That is the 6th on Cuse. Next UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus Saturday at 8 Eastern from Amalie Arena in Tampa. Former champ Johanna Jędrzejczyk taking on Michelle Waterson in a strawweight main event. Both are looking for a title fight with a win. You can order the main card in English and Spanish. Go to ESPNplus.com. Be sure to download the ESPN app if you're watching on your mobile device. Prelims start at 5 Eastern. 2nd and 22 for DeVito. He knows footsteps are coming from the backside. He got chased down by one of the big boys up front. Might be the best player on that front, Laurel Murchison. Came close to maybe getting a late hit, but it's another sack.
And this is an effort sack. I am so impressed with Murchison coming all the way around on the line stunt, chases him down. He really has no idea that DeVito's going to slide. DeVito thinks he's protecting himself by sliding. He probably had no idea Murchison was right on his tail.
Murchison had 3.5 sacks against Florida State in the last game. He now has 6 on the season.
Murchison's the heartbeat of this defense. Seeing him give that type of effort lifts everybody, including this crowd, on another 3rd and forever.
More pressure on DeVito, and it's another North Carolina State sack. Aleem McNeil, one of the big boys in the backfield, with Deontay Holden. With McNeil at 315, the 600-pound squat. Picking up another sack for North Carolina State. That's 5.
They've been mixing up here, keeping 3 down, only keeping them contained. That time they bring an extra defender, get some pressure. And this Syracuse team has been working backwards more than they've been working forwards tonight. 4th and 24, gonna need another big-time punt from Hofrichter.
And this punter's been doing an outstanding job of helping them stay in this field position game.
Not going to turn over, not as good.
Thayer Thomas, another fair catch. 38-yard kick. 1:48 left for the first half. NC State with 5 first-half sacks. After all this, still only a 6-0 game. This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these by awarding the Live Ma Student Section of the Year. NC State Wolfpack Student Section already on the national watch list. ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete or get the committee's attention, including Molly's on Twitter. Hashtag Live Ma Student Section Contest. Molly, Reese Davis, the whole crew awarding that Taco Bell Live Ma Student Section at the end of the year. Zonovan Knights, good run on first down to work out towards midfield. More good field position for North Carolina State. Trying to take advantage with 100 seconds left in the half, and they get the ball to start half number 2.
Yeah, good field position, and they spread them out, a 2-by-2 formation, meaning 2 people on the left detached and 2 people on the right. And then they spread them out, and then they run the football.
This NC State offense has to score there. They're letting Syracuse hang around when they're playing terrible. And big runs like that will help Adam.
Zonovan Knight back-to-back, this time inside the 35.
And again, a similar philosophy, an 18-yard run right there. They go with a trips formation. Starts with a T. There's going to be 3 people to the right, and he just cuts through it.
That is their first charge to the half.
While we have a moment, let's go back to the studio. A lot of muscle in the studio tonight, Matt.
We got a lot of muscle here coming up in the Mazda halftime report. We've got our halftime pick-em to the biggest games of the weekend, plus a big one down in the Bayou between Florida and LSU. A little deep-fried football in Texas between the Longhorns and Sooners. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway join me, and Adam, Matt, and Pat. As always, there will be a pop quiz.
We'll take zeros on that one, Matty. We'll see you guys in a minute 23. Looking forward to that LSU-Florida contest. #1 offense in the country, LSU. #1 defense in the country in Florida. What you got, Pat?
Syracuse has to be thinking, if they get to half here, just 6-0 or hold for another field goal, they've played as bad as they possibly can on offense. They have to feel good about that. And on the flip side, NC State has averaged 8.3 yards on all their first downs. They've been able to move. They just haven't been able to punch it in, which has been a story of their season thus far.
They go a little wildcat here. Tabari Hines is back in the backfield. Actually, under center, it's Hockman, beg your pardon, but they use Tabari Hines. Double pass, Thayer Thomas, he's got the touchdown. Trent Penix out of the backfield, and Thayer Thomas delivers for his second career touchdown pass.
That was wide open for him. What a throw by Penix. Throw the ball backwards, classic double pass. Touchdown for Coach Doran in the NC State Wolfpack, who love the trickery. Syracuse said that they were preparing for something like that.
It's the second time they've run something like that with Trent Penix, and sure enough, Thayer Thomas delivers it.
You mentioned it. Listen, 2 years ago, I was here against Louisville. Lamar Jackson, they ran it against them. I recognized it right away. Adam, you said, is it Wildcat? You couldn't find the quarterback. It was an excellent throw. The crowd loved it. Not settling for a field goal, finding a way to get into the end zone.
A great trigger, great hide. And a big-time call from Des Kitchings and Dave Doran.
That was beautiful, man.
We mentioned it. The guy goes in motion. It's kind of a little eye distraction. Thayer Thomas goes back to him. The former walk-on turned baseball player drafted by the Red Sox, wide receiver, do it all. His high school coach is Torrey Holt. What else can you put on this guy's resume? A touchdown pass on Thursday night.
Second of his career. He found Penix for a 56-yard strike before. Thayer Thomas, a member of the North Carolina State baseball team, is an outfielder. He did have his high school's assist record in basketball. He has the hits and OPS record at Heritage as a baseball player. Walked on to North Carolina State, got his scholarship a year and a half ago. 33rd round pick of the Boston Red Sox, and he's connected. 3 of 4 for 2 touchdowns in his career.
And the NC State sideline is electric. They're going nuts. It's a dance party. Thayer Thomas, I got a chance to talk to him yesterday after practice. I love this kid. Reminds me of Julian Edelman on the football field.
Julian Edelman, very good college quarterback at Penn State. Out across the 20-yard line, Riley. Thayer Thomas had a 56-yard pass to Trent Penix. This time a little touchdown action. Kind of a little chippy there between the Wolfpack and Orange with 1:11 to go.
What I love about that play call is Dave Doran said, hey, listen, there's no reason for us to leave any bullets in the gun. We're going to fire away every play we have, everything that we think might work, trick play, shots, explosives. We're emptying it all. We're going to lay it all out on the field. I'm sure that's what his talk in the locker room before the game was like, and that'll fire your team up.
A lot of coaches talk about it. Not everybody can walk the walk. Doran has proved that he is. Thayer Thomas delivers for him.
Abdul Adams gets wrapped up. A little pep in the step of this defense, and Brock Miller with a tackle for loss.
NC State settling for field goal, get a touchdown here. And this Syracuse offense at halftime is going to have to figure something out. Lack of discipline, not a lot of movement. And it should be a lot more than it is right now, to be honest. They should feel pretty good.
And I got to give a lot of credit to this NC State defense. You know, the big question was, could they handle the skill receivers outside? Could they cover them one-on-one? Could they tackle in open field space? They have answered the challenge tonight.
Only 63 total yards for Syracuse in this first half. Back to the ground and Abdul Adams. If you're North Carolina State, would you use a timeout here? They've got 2 timeouts left, and now the whistle comes in.
And the referee's having words with Dakota Davis. Dakota Davis is giving a little bit of extra. You saw the scrum.
Timeout. North Carolina State, second charge of this half, and it will be a 30-second timeout.
North Carolina State has the advantage with our timely delivery brought to us by DoorDash. How about this from Thayer Thomas on the money?
We mentioned they went into the bag of tricks. We got to watch practice yesterday. We saw a bunch of trick plays at practice. That was one of them. It is a really good throw by a wide receiver. Sometimes as a guy trying to catch the ball, that's one of the toughest catches right there. Wide open. Almost feels like a fair catch, Pat.
Again, he's connected twice for touchdowns in his career, both to Trent Penix on similar plays. And remember, they didn't only lose Ryan Finley and Kelvin Harmon and Jacoby Myers to the NFL. They also lost Eli Drinkwitz, who is off to a 5-0 start at Appalachian State. They got a big win last night against Louisiana. So their offensive coordinator, Eli Drinkwitz, who had this great rhythm with Ryan Finley going back to their Boise State days, he was the guy that kind of initiated a lot of this trickery. We were curious to see how a second-time play caller in Des Kitchings would do taking over those duties. So far, obviously, so good.
Yeah, and I really liked our meetings with Des Kitchings yesterday. I thought, he's been here a while. He understands the pulse of this team. I was impressed with him, but like you said, big shoes to fill, filling in for Eli Drinkwitz, who's now at App State.
Tommy DeVito wants to take a deep shot. He's got his big play threat in Jackson, and he makes the catch! Tristan Jackson just changed the complexion of this game. Syracuse has timeouts to work with. They can use one here if they wish. Chris Ingram was in coverage, and he is down on the field.
Injury timeout.
52-yard shot to Tristan Jackson. And Ingram is in some pain.
You talk to the NC State defense, they say their thing that's going to keep them up at night is Tristan Jackson getting a deep ball. Thank you, ref. They've been able to contain him for most of the first half. 90% of the first half, absolutely nothing. Then just like this, deep ball from DeVito, a little bit of a spark that they need going into the half.
And you saw Chris Ingram, unfortunately, kind of reach towards his right knee, and he looked to be in some pain. Already a thin cornerback unit for NC State. But Chris Ingram got up, but he is limping, and he looks so frustrated. It looked like maybe he got his foot stuck in the ground. Again, we don't want to speculate here, but he went immediately to reach towards that right knee as he was trying to defend against Tristan Jackson, who got a 52-yard reception. Almost as many yards as Syracuse had had the entire first half. He's out of the game. Tommy DeVito from the 26, trying to change this game in the final seconds of the half, and he gets brought down by Louis Asus for his second sack. Syracuse still has 2 timeouts left, and they'll take one with a couple of seconds left. Luis Jesus did not have a sack in his first 2 seasons. He has 3.5 in the last 3 games.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 4 seconds. 4 seconds on the game clock, please.
It doesn't matter, honestly, ref, but I appreciate what you're doing here to make it super official. Incredible pressure there by the NC State defense. But let's remember, earlier in this drive, before the 52-yard, how you doing from DeVito, NC State called a timeout, right? They thought they were going to get the ball back. They thought they were going to potentially get a little extra points here going into half. Instead, one big play for Syracuse gets them potentially on the board here with an incredible kicker now hitting from 44.
And that was the right thing to do. I just got to say, that was an incredible throw by Tommy DeVito.
Please correct stadium clock.
So now you get a chance to see last year's Lou Groza winner, Andre Schmidt, who is perfect on the season, 5 of 5. And he's only a sophomore.
This kid's very talented. Their punter also incredible.
44.
Syracuse is becoming a kicker U because of that dome, and they've attracted a lot of talent. Let's see if they can get Syracuse on the board. Ooh, Coach Dorn, little gamesmanship. Let's ice the Lou Groza winner from last year.
Timeout. North Carolina State. And it's their third and final timeout of this half.
Perfect timing for this one, McAfee.
Let's take a look at our college football rankings brought to you by Allstate. Is that the right one?
That's not. That's okay. That's fine. We can still talk about Allstate. You want to talk about it?
Allstate? Well, Allstate Good Hands Field Goal Net Program. Since 2005, Allstate has donated millions and millions in scholarship funds to universities' general scholarship funds. Shout out to Allstate for being a good target and also a good company giving money.
Millions and millions, huh?
Millions. This kicker, though, Andre Schmidt, watching film on him, I'm so incredibly impressed. To win the Groza as a redshirt freshman is not easy to do, and now he's compounded it with a hot start this year.
Only 3 freshmen have ever won the award. He was the 3rd to do it. Led the country in field goals last year with 30. This one from 44 yards to get Cuse on the board after an anemic first half so far. Wow.
That's my fault.
Absolutely everything that could go wrong offensively for Syracuse in the opening half, including their outstanding kicker missing for the first time this season.
Gets good hold of it, just pulls it a little bit, hits that thing 3/4 of the way up the upright. Hit the ball well, just couldn't put it through, and that has been the story of Syracuse in this first half. Mercy's Law.
3 of his 4 misses last year came from between 40 and 49. His first miss of the season this year between 40 and 49. Weird half, NC State up. Matt Barry, it's yours.
Adam Amin, thank you. It seems apropos for the Mazda halftime report. Weird half. Here's us, Jesse, Joey, and Matt, kicking off week 7 of the college football season. NC State's won 10 of the last 12 against Syracuse early on. Syracuse offense unable to get going. Joey, what have you seen in the first half?
I seen one play. I seen Thayer Thomas with a double pass, throw it to the end zone. NC State has switched their quarterback, and they've gone with Bailey Hoffman, and he's gone 8 of 13 for 91 yards. So they need to go with more plays like this. This is their biggest play of the half. This is the only time they got to the end zone. The passing game has not looked good tonight. Offensively, they have not looked good tonight. But they go in with a lead. And I guess, you know, when you take it into the locker room and you have a 13-point lead and Syracuse is playing the way they are, you feel pretty good about the situation you're in, except when you switch quarterbacks, you expect to look better than this.
Yeah, I think for Syracuse now in the second half, they have to be able to run the football. Their running backs right now only have 32 yards. They're living in 3rd and long because of it. And NC State's just dropping 8 guys in coverage, and there's nowhere for DeVito to go with the football. Syracuse's most explosive players on offense are Taj Harris and Tristan Jackson at wide receiver. But these guys can't get touches if they're being double and triple covered all game. So Syracuse has to come out in the second half, early in drives, establish the run, get a safety to come back down in the box so DeVito can start getting the football to his best playmaker.
And you do want to give NC State's defense credit, at least in the first half, but I'm surprised coming out of the bye week, both of these teams, at least Syracuse offense, has been a little bit sloppy in the first half. And it has been fun for Tommy DeVito and the Syracuse offense. The Wolfpack 5 sacks in the first half. They lead it 13-0.
This halftime report is presented by Mazda. Feel alive. This halftime report is presented by Mazda. Feel alive.
Oh, it's a great thing on Sundays, NFL primetime. Chris Berman. Ryan Clark fills in again. TJ still on the DL with the Achilles injury. Sunday, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Recorded for the week so you can catch up on it. This Thayer Thomas to Trent Penix, a lone touchdown in the first half. Wolfpack up 13-0. Back to Raleigh after this.
Welcome back to ESPN Thursday Night College Football, presented by Dave and Buster's. North Carolina State gets the ball back to start the second half with a 13-0 lead. Adam Amin, Matt Hasselbeck, Pat McAfee, Molly McGrath, our great crew here on Thursday night. A little bit of anemic offense we saw from Syracuse in that first half.
I mean, Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong for Syracuse. 5 sacks for the NC State defense, a bunch of negative plays. They had a 3rd and 37 at one point. They're only down 13, though, so they have to feel somewhat good that they can maybe salvage something in the second half.
Yeah, we thought NC State would be the team that had the hard time protecting the quarterback, but completely the opposite. NC State protected the quarterback, threw it well, ran it well, trick plays, scored touchdown.
NC State ball to start this second half. Lassane on the return out across the 20. Moments ago, Molly McGrath was with Dino Babers.
Coach, they've kept your offense out of a rhythm. What do you need to do to battle that?
We've got to find some runs that we can go to. We just can't throw the ball every single snap. We've got some things that we can do in the throwing game, but we got to take the heat off the quarterback and the heat off the tackles.
You're known for your inspirational speeches. What was said at halftime?
There was a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to see if it's any good based off of how this game ends up.
All right, I'll ask you after the game.
Thank you, Mara.
Thank you.
This drive starts from the 21-yard line. Jordan Houston ends up taking a loss. Good pursuit that time from Andrew Armstrong and this Syracuse front. 2nd down and long coming up.
Well, I've been a part of those halftime speeches, and I feel for Dino Babers. It's hard to know what to say, but clearly they got to get that run game going, just like he said. And NC State, what they want to do is they want to try to hold on to this ball as long as possible. A good long drive, eat up some clock, would frustrate this Syracuse offense even more.
What a spin by Houston. Able to shed a quick tackle from Kendall Coleman and take it out across the 25. Picks up 8, much more makeable 3rd down and medium coming up here.
I didn't get a chance to hear what Coach Baber said there because I was sprinting down the booth stairs here. But only being down 13 with how terrible that was is massive for them. I mean, if they can get their defense off the field here, could be a swing of things here. Massive 3rd down here in the second half.
How's your ankle feeling, just out of curiosity?
Okay, I felt like pretty quick. I felt like I was Mike Lennon in the pocket.
3rd down and 4. Blitz coming from Syracuse. Low throw to Tabari Hines. Is it going to be ruled complete? If it is, it's a 1st down, and it is just to the sticks at the 31-yard line.
Really nice catch by Tabari Hines. We mentioned the rapport that Hines has with Hockman. He said, listen, that's my guy. That's the guy I spent a lot of time with. On a 3rd down conversion like that, the catch is everything. He goes to the ground, had an opportunity for some yak yards after catch, but getting that 1st down was critical.
Hockman has his release to Keon Lassane. And Lassane powering ahead. He's got the 1st down to the 44-yard line.
Lassane hit him with a little okey-doke right there on the sideline to pick up some extra yards. Just a nice little easy throw for Hockman. A couple of them here pick up a 1st down, keep this drive rolling.
But that was actually a shot play. They were trying to get a deep ball down the field, and intelligently, Hockman comes down to the check down to Lassane, and Lassane does the rest.
Another Syracuse blitz. Man down the middle is Kerry Angeline. And he lost the football. It looked like he was able to recover it and rescue it at the 26.
What a beautiful start here for the NC State Wolfpack offense. Just moving the ball however they want. That 1 3rd down, now they get a big-time completion down the middle. Got to hang on to the rock, obviously. But now they're in scoring position yet again.
And they just drop Angeline. They don't even cover him. He goes right down the seam, untouched, and he's 6'7", 250. I don't know how you miss him.
They faked the toss. Hockman got away from 2 men, 3 men, and somehow got back near the line of scrimmage. Finally got finished off by Josh Black.
Looked like Hasselbeck in the pocket.
I don't know. That was a little too slippery. I mean, at this point, I'm deciding, hey, I might be throwing the ball away, but I'm impressed with Hockman. The toughness he showed last game against Florida State. And this D-line, they were coming for him.
Josh Black was the first guy to miss. He ended up recovering to make the stop. But the redshirt junior out of Loves Park, Illinois, who's already dealt with injury in his career, had the knee issue a couple of years ago that ended his season. He is down on the field. There's actually 2 Syracuse Orange players on the ground right now. Black is one.
You are watching the ACC on ESPN. And you are also watching some good offense by NC State. Check this out here. Syracuse brings the cross dog blitz. These inside backers are going to cross. The safety's going to come down as the defender on the tight end, number 6, Carey Angeline. And he runs right by. The defender doesn't carry the seam. And that is a big, explosive gain. Another one for NC State.
Whenever you bring pressure like that, the rest of the defense is expecting a quick ball. That offensive line picked it up in a fantastic fashion, and Hockman was able to deliver the ball there, but just an incredible play design.
And that's exactly what they said they wanted to do. They have a new starting quarterback tonight because they said, listen, we need to find ways to get more explosives through the air.
Passes of 20 or more air yards, not completions that go for 20+, literal passes through the air of 20+. They've already taken as many, or completed 3 times as many in this game as they had in the first 5 games of the year. Screen against the blitz. Oh, it was tipped away by Curtis Harper and picked off by Andrew Armstrong. 6'2" Curtis Harper got the deflection, and Andrew Armstrong picks up the 2nd pick of his career. Both have come against NC State.
Pat, we say it, tips and overthrows.
Gotta have them.
Gotta get those. It's actually a perfect play call by Des Kitchens. Syracuse brings the blitz at the perfect time for this play call, but just an incredible play by Curtis Harper to get his hands up. Tips and overthrows, gotta get those. That was the stop and the turnover that Syracuse needed defensively.
Now Mo Neal will start the drive with a couple of yards, guys.
This has kind of been it with the 2 field goals early and then the trickery for the touchdown. NC State has been able to move, but they just haven't been able to score as many as they should. 20th straight game with a takeaway for this Syracuse defense. 2nd longest active streak in FBS.
And they've needed it because they've given up a lot of yards so far in the season. That's been keeping them in games. DeVito smartly throws it away, and it's 3rd down.
Syracuse offense hasn't been able to handle whenever they bring 1 extra guy. 3 D linemen, whenever they bring the other guy down, the buck or the nickel come. The Syracuse offensive line and their offense in general hasn't been able to handle the pressure. DeVito's had a lot of throwaways, a lot of intentional groundings, things like that.
Well, you don't want this 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 or 9 or 10 or more than 10. And backed up here near the student section, near the band. Tight man coverage, press up top.
I will argue 3rd and 8's better than 3rd and 37.
Pressure coming on DeVito again, and down he goes. Back near the line of scrimmage, 4th down coming up. Syracuse will have to punt on it.
Well, Adam, Dave Doran at the half told me that touchdown before halftime was a huge confidence boost for his team. He said we needed the cushion. We were moving the ball well, but couldn't capitalize. It felt like we were playing from behind the entire half, and Doran said that he was happy so far with Bailey Hockman's performance. Can't be happy about that interception, but he wouldn't rule out Devin Leary playing in the 2nd half, and their offense will be needing to fire on all cylinders. Corner Chris Ingram ruled out for the game.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty serious injury to Ingram. He's done, the cornerback. Richter, good hang time again. Another fair catch for Thayer Thomas. 46-yard punt, 4-7 on the hang time. Great tradition at NC State. You meet at the Memorial Bell Tower, and then you race to Krispy Kreme, eat 12 donuts, and then race back.
Let's take a look at tonight's game flow brought to you by Progressive. How did we get here, you ask? Well, this Syracuse offense has been under siege. 5 sacks in the first half, could have been 7, not a lot of time, and they haven't scored a point.
And we thought that NC State was going to be the ones having the hard time moving the ball, protecting the passer. But they have been protecting the passer. They've been spreading them out. They've been running the football. And we've seen a little trickery. We saw a trick play on the first play. We saw a trick play, Thayer Thomas throwing a touchdown pass. A wide receiver throwing a touchdown pass. They told us they were going to do it. They did it. And that's why NC State is leading right now.
And they start this series from their own 12-yard line with another Hockman throw. And he's able to complete it to Emeka Emezi right in front of Christopher Frederick.
Hockman has impressed me with his arm, and especially this throw. I mean, delivered right on time, right in the perfect spot. And on first down, they've ever been able to stay on schedule. There was a penalty in the kicking game. That's where they're backed up to the 12. But now we get a 2nd and short because of the incredible throw.
And these Syracuse defenders, they're playing tight coverage. I would not be surprised to see a double move later on in this half. They're playing hard technique. They're jumping inside routes. A slant and go could show up. An out and up could show up.
Antoine Cordy on the stop of Zonovan Knight. 3rd down and 1 coming up. There was a penalty against Devon Graves that Pat was talking about that sent them back a little bit further because of that holding and blocking, beg your pardon, out of bounds. Right back to the ground, and Zonovan Knight didn't need a whole lot, and he picks it up for the 1st down.
This is Hockman's first start, and he's shown a lot of composure. Just like that, on a 3rd and short, low snap, bobbles it, has the poise, gets the ball to the running back, picks up the 1st down. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, and give credit to Bam Knight. I think he felt that. He kind of slowed down just a little bit to give Hockman a time to make that handoff. You don't really want to slow down on 3rd and 1, short yardage situation, but well executed.
Bailey Hockman, first career start, just his 5th career appearance in a college game. Did not appear at a game in Florida State when he redshirted. Did not appear in a game at his JUCO stop at Hutchinson in Kansas. Throws the slant, and he connects to Thayer Thomas. He's got another 1st down out to the 37-yard line.
And again, this is just a spread you out 2 by 2 RPO. We're going to go inside out. The inside receiver is Thayer Thomas. He sets him up like it's going to be a run block. He runs the inside slant. Really, really well done.
Bam Knight picks up 2 more.
Thayer Thomas can throw touchdowns. He can catch footballs. He can hit baseballs. And tonight, he has been a pivotal part of this NC State offense.
And these guys have always been very, very balanced offensively, even with the RPO game. About 50-50 run to pass. Not about 50-50, exactly 50-50.
Another slant this time, and Keon Lassane takes it to midfield for another 1st down. One thing that Matt pointed out on the call when we got a chance to talk about this game a little bit earlier in the week, hey, it seems like North Carolina State is really balanced. That has been exactly the case the last 3 years, and they've continued that even without Elijah.
And that's self-scout. That's self-scout. They had a bye week last week. They look at it again. They look at everything. I think Dave Doran and NC State do as good a job as anybody at scouting themselves.
Hockman taking a deep shot for Emezi, going high to get it, and he makes the grab inside the 15, beating Antoine Cordy.
One-on-one coverage. You said they were going to take advantage of it, Matt. 37 yards right there with Blaine Hockman delivering a gem.
You talked about the size, Matt. 6'3" against 5'8".
You got to go up and make that play there. You got to love that from your wide receiver.
That was well done.
Back to the ground. Zonovan Knight. Bam picks up about 3 on the play. 2nd down coming up.
And these runs right there, it's an inside zone, and it's a zone read. The quarterback's deciding, okay, is number 55, the defensive end, Kendall Coleman, is he honoring the quarterback, run, or is he just diving down right away on the inside zone? So far, Kendall Coleman has played it perfectly, but if he gets greedy at any point here, Hockman's going to pull it and keep it himself.
9th play of this drive. It is a run for Knight down to the 10. And hit hard by Kendall Coleman. The Third down coming up. They can get a first down at the 3-yard line.
In the first half, they drove, and they had to settle for a couple field goals. Need to score tutters down here at some point. 3rd and 7, let's see if they can make it happen.
You guys talked about it early in the week. This is one of the best red zone teams in terms of getting points. They were 22 of 23 coming in, but their touchdown rate was only 61%. That's too low for a team that wants to be efficient.
Yeah, that's not good at all. And going up against a team that is arguably more talented in Syracuse, you need to come away with touchdowns if you can.
Play clock was winding down, and Dave Doran's going to spend a timeout.
North Carolina State. That is their first charge of the half.
Big third down on the other side.
Well, guys, we were talking about how aggressive these DBs for Syracuse have been playing. And check out up top. They go with the sluggo, the slant and go. They fake inside, a double move. Hockman throws it up for a Mezzi, his 6'3" wide receiver. Excellent play, excellent catch. We mentioned Cordy is only 5'8". Big advantage.
And Hockman's going to go to the back corner of the end zone this time. Incomplete. Same matchup, Emezi against Cordy. This time the smaller Cordy was able to win it, but a late penalty marker flies in.
The fans were not happy that there wasn't a pass interference. He was face guarding him a little bit. He was pushing him. The ball was thrown to a different spot. And then late, all the jawing from Cordy, draws a flag from the ref, got his mouthpiece in the back of his helmet there. I like a little swag there after you get a deep ball.
Well, and it's the same route, Pat.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 8. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down. And that's number 8, first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
On 3rd down, Cordy, who makes an incredible defensive play, pushes Emezi, who's got 7 inches on him out after a big play happened. Then a little bagel boss situation happens afterwards. First down inside the 10. That's tough stuff for the Syracuse defense.
It's just really an undisciplined play, and if I'm the other 10 guys on that defense, I'm very disappointed in my teammate.
That's a 6th-year player who knows better, frankly. Big play off the edge by Alton Robinson, and just wrapped up Zonovan Knight and brought him to the ground. It'll be a loss of a yard on the play. It is 2nd down and goal. Cordy's playing in his 42nd game of his career. He's made 27 starts. He's played 6 years now in college. A couple of those years were injury shortened, but that's a bad play.
And if I'm a player on this Syracuse team, I'm looking at Robinson and I'm looking at Coleman, and I'm playing like those guys play. They buckle their chin strap, they go out and they play football. They're the reason that all these scouts are here tonight. Good play by Robinson, leading by example.
End zone again. He's got Emezi. Bobbled and incomplete. Excellent coverage outside by Scoop Bradshaw, another veteran in his 40th game in his career. 3rd and goal.
A little premature cannon here from the NC State Wolfpack. Hockman throws a great ball here. Incredible hands by the corner.
This is a great play by Bradshaw. Strong hands at the moment of truth. Saves the touchdown. Good throw, like you said, Pat. The ball's face mask or higher. Right there, we saw them running that play in practice. Excellent play by Bradshaw. Saved the touchdown. It's called heavy hands. Heavy hands at the moment of truth.
Trying to cash in on 3rd down and goal. Hockman firing. Low throw, nearly intercepted. And how about the Syracuse defense coming up with a major stand? Evan Foster nearly ended up picking that ball, but boy, a big stand by the Syracuse team.
And again, we saw this play yesterday. It was kind of it's a play for man coverage. They don't get man coverage, they get zone coverage. Okay, Syracuse plays it perfectly. Well played by the DBs. At that point, you have to throw the ball away. Hockman gets away with one there.
We got 13 plays, 81 yards. Now they have to settle for another field goal, even after being gifted a personal foul in the end zone by the corner.
Well, there's nobody breathing easier right now than Antoine Cordy on the Syracuse sideline. Christopher Dunn's perfect on the night. 16-0 Wolfpack still on top, but it's only a 2-score game. Live from Baton Rouge. Boy, Death Valley is going to be lit up on Saturday night. Hey, good to see Scotty McCreery made his way out here tonight as well. From Garner, North Carolina, 26 years of age, won the 10th season of American Idol.
Hey, Scotty McCreery. I've been on stage with Scotty McCreery. Good guy. Really good guy.
What a life. What a life, Hasselbeck.
Was in Blindside. He sang with Scotty McCreery. There's some things going down.
Wow.
We got to fight.
Bring them out. Bring them out. The entire kickoff team and kickoff return team is scrumming out there in the middle of the field. Coaches are ripping people apart. We got a little intensity here on Thursday night in the 2-score game.
Jeff Canton-Arcou of Syracuse get in there. Got a little aggressive with Will Dabbs and Jakeem Harris.
Have you guys ever seen that many coaches in the middle of the field?
Well, Dino Babers is out talking with the officials, and he was gesticulating. Yeah, he's all the way out near the numbers right now, kind of getting after the officials. I don't know if he was trying to settle his guys down while still letting the refs know to keep things civil. I'm not sure what he was
My guess is he didn't like what he saw some people from NC State doing to one of his players. I can't think of why else he would run onto the field like that.
You see Jakeem Harris in there. Anthony Quealy got a little bit of a push, to say the least. Keyshawn Miller had to pull his teammate Jakeem Harris out of there. Quealy did a nice job of getting out of there as well.
I saw nothing.
No flag on the play.
That looked like a normal play.
I see nothing.
So DeVito from the 25-yard line, check down to Moneal. Puts a shoulder down to the 34-yard line, picks up 9 on the play.
Excellent job by DeVito. I like the aggressive play call by Syracuse. They're trying to take a shot. Mike Lynch is saying, hey, take a shot if it's there. If not, check it down. Great job.
Right back to Neal. Patiently surveys, and he's got the first down.
One of the best lines is orange is the new fast, is their motto. Coach Babers likes tempo. They weren't really humming that much in the first half. It almost feels like they're going to have to keep it moving.
Only 38 plays run in this game for Syracuse. Again, they've averaged 82 under Babers. This should be a free play. Man in the neutral zone. They're looking deep, and he finds Taj Harris. It was a free play with penalty markers. North Carolina State was in the neutral zone, and Taj Harris, fresh off his first career 100-yard game, picks up 36.
Offside. Defense. Penalties decline. Results of the play. First down.
What a catch. What a throw. This is a quarterback's best friend. Free play. You get him to jump. And then you just tell your receivers, hey, when they jump, everybody go deep. It just so happens that your fast guy is going deep.
That was a one-handed snag after the ball dropped in the bucket from DeVito.
Moneal, another good run. He takes it down to the 23 on a 5-yard gain.
That's 2 really good deep ball throws by DeVito in this game. One to the left, one to the right. Maybe they just open it up. They haven't had success running the football.
Neal again, this time picks up about 3. Half their yards almost have come on those 2 bombs. We've seen one to Jackson and one to Harris a moment ago.
They haven't had much success on anything else, to be honest with you.
And if you look at Tristan Jackson, he is screaming over to the sideline. Look at this guy that's covering me. Look at him, I'm one-on-one. There's no one anywhere, anyone near us. Throw me the ball.
They go with Jarvion Howard, who's their primary short yardage back, and he picks up the 2 necessary to move the chains in the red zone.
And guys, I'm mistaken. That's Taj Harris, who just caught the deep ball. Look at him. He's waving over to the sideline. Hey, look at this guy. I just ran by him. Give me another chance. Give me a chance in the red zone. And this is not unusual. Wide receivers do this all the time.
This is Syracuse's first time in the red zone. I mean, that's an interesting little thing. Well, other than this field goal.
Looking for Jackson. A little long on that throw. You've got Jackson at 6'1". On the top side, you've got Taj Harris at 6'2" on the bottom of the formation.
Well, like we were saying, it is that one-on-one coverage with inside technique. DeVito just chooses to go to the other side, and then he throws the ball out of bounds. That's not advised. I mean, quarterback coaches will tell you, give your guys a chance. I feel like I say it every Thursday night. Give them a chance.
Like that.
Chance for Jackson. He picks up some yardage to the 11. That's 6 on that play. 3rd down and for key drive right now. This has been a brutal 2.5 quarters for Syracuse offensively. They have a chance to get a touchdown here.
And DeVito did a nice job of getting half of it back. Good, accurate throw.
On third down, DeVito gets wrapped up and brought down. But this guy has been all over the quarterback tonight. Luis Asus did not have a sack in his first 27 games. He's been monster the last 3.
And there was enough time to get rid of the ball. They went with a slant up top, back to Tristan Jackson, I believe.
All right, and here we go.
Do you like this move right now? Field goal? It's still only a 2-score game. A lot of time left, but with the offense going the way it is, do you like the field goal?
I have no problem with this decision.
Schmidt missed his first field goal of the season on his opening try. From 32. Syracuse gets on the board with a Schmidt field goal. 16-3 the score. Bounces back. We're back in 30 seconds. Back in Raleigh, North Carolina tonight. ACC contest, Syracuse and North Carolina State. Orange get on the board with a Schmidt field goal. They stall a drive in the red zone, but they're on the board.
Fun little fact here, in the Dino Babers era for Syracuse, they've only been held to 3 points through 3 quarters 3 other times. 2016 against Clemson, 2018 Notre Dame, 2017 Louisville. This NC State defense has been showing up in a big way. Will they let DeVito take more shots? We'll find out.
Keon Lassane looking for a big return, and he'll take it out near the 30-yard line. Down to the field and Molly.
Well, after that drive, Dino Babers and Tristan Jackson, both extremely frustrated with quarterback Tommy DeVito. They pulled him aside, and they were both yelling at him, asking him for his reasoning and his decision-making, especially behind taking that sack. Babers took and talked to him for a really long time. You can tell there's a lot of frustration, and DeVito's body language was bad. He was kind of sulking off after getting an earful from his head coach, Adam.
Dino Babers obviously has had a lot of success with quarterbacks. We talked about Eric Dungy at Syracuse, but he's had Jimmy Garoppolo, had a great run at Bowling Green with Matt Johnson. He's been known as a very strong quarterback coach and a guy who can guide quarterbacks to great success. Houston picks up a yard to start this drive for NC State.
Well, I'll say as a quarterback, managing what happens when you're on the sidelines with your wide receivers, that's part of the job. That is just part of the job. What you do with the football in your hands and what you do with the football and when the football's not in your hands. Those interactions with teammates, with coaches are important.
Looks like we're going to take it to the 4th quarter here. NC State up 16-3.
And here's the play that I think where the frustration is coming in. There's a slant route up top. It seems like there's protection. He's staying flat. He didn't like it for some reason. I don't necessarily fault him. If you don't like it, don't throw it. But the wide receiver felt like he was open. This game is not over. Far from over. Feels like a tough day for Syracuse, but you are still in this game. That has to be the message. NC State came to play tonight.
Molly let us know about the frustration on the Syracuse sideline. That's the backup quarterback, Clayton Welch, the redshirt senior from Chico, California, trying to settle down Taj Harris as North Carolina State has 3rd down coming up. Angeline hit by Trill Williams. And Tommy DeVito was still on the sideline talking with Dino Babers. Everybody trying to get on the same page. Matt, you said it going to break. Syracuse isn't out of this game as poorly as they played at times offensively.
No, they're really not, but you can tell the frustration is building, especially with the wide receiver group. They feel like they're getting open or they feel like they're not getting the opportunities. I understand why Tommy DeVito's not pulling the trigger. It's not as simple as just beating the guy on you, but they got to come together. They're still in this game. But clearly the frustration is mounting.
4-man rush for Syracuse. Coleman nearly got to Hockman, and he got wrapped up on the sideline by Brandon Berry.
This is now
incomplete pass, Patrick.
Numerous times where the quarterback
before throwing the pass, the ball will be spotted at that spot.
I was an NFL quarterback. We all know that sometimes you just have to give up on a play, and tonight we have not seen that happen with the quarterbacks, which I respect. You're trying to extend it, trying to make something happen, but at some point you're just going to hurt your team, and it's happened on numerous occasions here for both sides of the team.
Just so no one's confused, that was Pat McAfee, who was claiming to be an NFL quarterback.
What are your passing stats, Pat?
1 for 2.
But I will say, all it takes is like a veteran or senior offensive lineman to kind of curse you out one time, and you stop doing that. You learn to throw the ball away quicker.
Sean Riley, good hang time on that Trenton Gill punt. Fair catch after a 48-7-yarder. Well, the ACC Network is your home for ACC sports. You can visit ACCN.com to check for providers in your area. Mr. Wolf is big on it. If you don't see yours listed, contact them to demand that they carry the ACC Network. Saturday night, big game. Louisville takes on a top 25 Wake Forest team. Your brother Tim Hasselbeck will be on the call with our buddies Dave O'Brien and Katie George. That's 7:30 Eastern, Saturday night on the ACC Network.
That should be a good one. Louisville had a great overtime win against Boston College, and I like that Wake Forest team. Yeah. I think they're underrated.
They might be the second best team in the league behind Clemson right now. I think that mantle is still up for grabs.
14 of 20, 173 yards. A lot of that coming on 2 plays. They go back to the ground here. They've had success with the deep ball. And they've only attempted a couple times and it's worked.
And if you're Dave Doran, your defense, for whatever reason, has done a very poor job of getting takeaways this season. They've emphasized it in the last few weeks. He would love nothing more for his defense to find a way to get a takeaway.
They only have 5 in 5 games this season. Excellent penetration up front by Laurel Murchison. Might be the most explosive defensive lineman on a very good front.
This defensive line has performed very well this evening. Murchison is an absolute animal up there.
And he's versatile. Plays at all positions. Inside, outside, left, right, all of it.
DeVito finding some space. He's got a lot of green in front of him. Picks up the first down and steps out near midfield.
In the entire first half, that 3-man front was just trying to keep DeVito in the pocket, let him beat him with the arm. Now DeVito decides to step up and go on a 17-yard scamper. They brought a little bit of pressure. The offensive line picked it up. DeVito said, I'm getting yelled at on the sideline by everybody. Let me put this thing on my back and pick up a first down here in the 4th quarter.
It was a good job by DeVito.
Jarvion Howard gets hammered. Peyton Wilson, Calvin Hart both get into the backfield for a loss.
Calvin Hart got shot out of a cannon. They called the defense. They called for Hart to blitz. There's a run play to the left, and he just tracked it down.
That is their 10th tackle for loss tonight. Those are what we like to call good numbers on the defensive side.
Tackle for loss, also known as a TFL.
LOL.
Riley takes it out to the sticks. He's got a first down to the 42-yard line. 14 yards on that play to make up for the loss.
It's crazy to me. 16-3, 2-score game. You've looked horrendous, but if you can mount a drive here, all of a sudden we got a really good one here in Raleigh, North Carolina.
And Tristan Jackson again, one-on-one outside.
They'll throw it to the sideline, picked up by Cameron Jordan, just the 2nd catch of his career. And the redshirt sophomore will step out a couple yards shy of the line to gain. Molly?
Adam, it's interesting. Taj Harris is sitting on the sideline right now. He's not in for this drive for Syracuse. He has terrible body language. His head is down. He looks really upset. And before going out, Tommy DeVito went over and said something to him, trying to comfort him.
We've seen Welch and DeVito now try to settle down Harris. That's why Jordan is probably in the game right now. And he's got more catches on the last 2 plays than he had his entire career. Picks up the first down.
Well, that's really interesting because Jordan has been primarily a special teams guy, good gunner on the punt team.
I just saw Harris clapping for him, though. I like that. Good teammate. I have no idea why he's off the field. Could be because... All right, no injury timeout. Hope the kid's okay. He's on a knee over there.
That's Murchison.
Very interesting evening here for the Syracuse offense. If they can score here, we got a really good one in Raleigh.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is presented by Dave & Buster's. Download the new Dave & Buster's Fun app today.
How cool is that? The Power Sound of the South, the band for North Carolina State on Military Appreciation Night with a great performance at halftime.
America.
Syracuse back to work with a fresh set of downs. Not much room there for Jarvion Howard. It is Military Appreciation Night. The Wolfpack are actually wearing their Stealth Wolf uniforms. All white camo, reminiscent of the snow camo that U.S. military personnel wore in World War II.
We won that one.
Big win for the U.S. of A.
Congrats to us and the world. This has been a terrible evening for the Syracuse offense.
They're still in it, though.
Still in it.
Jarvion Howard breaking a couple of tackles, powers his way to the 20-yard line. I enjoyed this, too. Earlier in the night, you get the Army ROTC against the Air Force ROTC in a tug-of-war. Air Force ROTC gets 100% pilot selection over the last 2 years. That's the largest in the state. And the Army ROTC has more alums as flag officers than any other non-military college. Impressive stuff here at North Carolina State.
In the Air Force's defense, they have to be a little bit smaller to get into those jets. Good guys won.
James Smith-Williams, unfortunately, he and Murchison have both been dealing with some injury on the last couple of plays. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Top 25 Big Ten showdown. Number 10 Penn State. That electric defense that's been getting after the QB. Can Iowa's offensive line hold up? Nittany Lions have won the last 5. 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. As we get a look at our college football rankings brought to us by All-State LSU Florida, our headliner on Saturday Night Football on ESPN.
Yeah, Adam, you talk about that Penn State team. I saw Sean Clifford at a St. Xavier High School, Cincinnati. He's playing some good football. That's a good Big Ten matchup.
And that Burroughs fellow down there at LSU with that Ordron, speaking good English down here by you, he in Florida are going to be a matchup made in heaven this weekend.
For the record, Pat, all the people down there, they understand what he's saying, even if you don't.
I understand it. Unlike you, I am culture.
Third down.
Blitz from North Carolina State. DeVito to the end zone. It is broken up, incomplete.
Incredible coverage there. I think it hit off his helmet.
Malik Dunlap, who was in for the injured Chris Ingram, was in coverage that time against Jackson.
And it's another sluggo. Slant and go. It's the route of choice tonight. The DB never turns his head around, which is dangerous. You can get a flag thrown. Dino Babers wasn't prepared to either go for it or kick the field goal. Now it looks like he might have to go for it. He calls a timeout.
That is their first charge of this half.
The NC State team is jacked for their guy making a huge play in the corner of the end zone. And you can't blame him. Comes in, gets a real head for the ball, if you will, with the helmeted deflection. Thank you, ref.
Malik Dunlap, redshirt freshman out of Charlotte. 2 games last year, then took the red shirt in coverage of Syracuse's top target.
And NC State, like I said, lucky they don't get the pass interference. The DB never looks back. DeVito wants it. I think he's probably right. Probably deserved a flag there. But, guys, I'm a little bit surprised that Syracuse didn't have a plan. There was a long injury timeout. Like you knew, was this 2-down territory? Up here in the booth, we're talking about it. Pat, you went to the bathroom again, came back, and then we were talking about it. Are you going to kick a field goal, or is this 2-down territory?
Funny you say that. When I was in the bathroom, there was a security guy. I said, what do you think they do here if they don't pick it up on 3rd down? You think they go for it? Apparently, that conversation never happened on the Syracuse sideline. Now they're wasting a good timeout. This is going to be an important timeout down the road.
Yeah. Now they're going to go for it on 4th down. Tommy DeVito and the offense are out there for Syracuse.
When Mo Bamba shows up in the stadium, normally the place goes crazy. 4th down, NC State's defense needs this place.
Wolfpack bring the pressure again. DeVito, desperation heave to the end zone, and it's caught! What a play by Cameron Jordan, but it's incomplete. A late flag is thrown. He caught the football but could not complete the process. There is an official with his hat off, which this may mean illegal touching because he stepped out of bounds and was the first to touch the ball after reestablishing position in the field of play. That's why it's probably ruled incomplete, and that's why the penalty marker was thrown. Boy, what a play by Jordan. Would have been the first touchdown of his career.
Number 81, went out of bounds and came back in, was first to touch. That's illegal touching. It's a loss of down at the previous spot. The ball will go over on downs. North Carolina State football. First down.
Illegal touching essentially means incomplete pass. There's no penalty yardage issue. It's an incomplete pass. Does not count. NC State takes over.
Incredible hand jousting down there to get the catch, but it feels like It feels like Tommy DeVito has been running for his life and throwing fadeaways a lot this evening. It catches up with him there on a big 4th down in the red zone.
And I mean, Jordan does a nice job of fighting for that ball. Again, these officials are letting them play. I've seen flags thrown on that.
He stepped out of bounds.
He stepped out of bounds for a reason, Pat. There was, he's getting pushed out of bounds.
Oh, which is a pass interference, which he can touch the ball if he gets back in, if that's the case. Yeah, I think.
Well, either way, the swing of emotions. I mean, Adam, I could hear it in your voice. You were like, they brought the blitz. DeVito's running for his life. It's a touchdown. Wait a sec, what happened?
You got to love, though, that NC State there on a big-time 4th down. Cover 0, bringing everybody, let's go. Our dogs versus yours. Big time stop there for the NC State Wolfpack. Once again, Syracuse, though, can't get points on the board. In a game that revolves around points, that is a problem. And now the freshman with a big time first down now.
Jordan Houston out of Waldorf, Maryland. Virginia Player of the Year. As a senior in high school, went to Flint Hill in Virginia, picks up a dozen there.
This is just a nice one cut. They're going east and west, and then one cut get north and south. We got a chance to talk to Jordan Houston yesterday. I'm asking him all these questions about Thursday Night Football, ESPN, national TV. I don't think he had like any clue. He was just like, no, we're just playing a game. This is just fun.
Well, what was this kid doing a year ago on Thursday night? He was prepping for like his Friday night high school
like
game.
a walkthrough. He's doing some homework.
Picks up 2 on that play. There's a lot of talent, though, in this backfield with a lot of young guys. Again, no Ricky Person tonight. You see what Houston's been able to do. Big chunk yardage plays so far. He ran for over 5,000 yards in his high school career. Bam Knight ran for over 5,000 yards at Southern Nash, same school that produced Julius Peppers. Trent Penix ran for 3,000 yards in high school. It's a lot of talent behind Person.
And I would argue here in the 4th quarter, up 13, you should let that play clock go down. There's 9 seconds, 8 seconds now. Let that thing drain a little bit.
I'm going to sling it outside for Hines, and it's out of his reach. That's going to stop the clock with 3rd down coming up. Tamari Hines, grad transfer from Oregon, covered up by the veteran Antoine Cordy.
Cordy's one of my favorite football players I've ever seen, I think.
I think because he's got the mouthpiece. Is that why you're saying that? He's got the mouthpiece sticking out of the top of his helmet? Well, I think it works when you do it that way, Pat.
You don't know.
I don't, but that's my guess.
Supposed to be in your mouth. 3rd down here, though. Get a big turnover on downs for the defensive side of it. What are you going to do with it, NC State?
Hockman under pressure. Did he get rid of the football? Kendall Coleman brought him down. They're going to rule it an incomplete pass. So no sack. Obviously, that would give a little bit of extra yardage for Syracuse in field position, potentially.
And Hockman has protection in the pocket, but he does what some young quarterbacks do. They run to their dominant arm outside the pocket. Really good protection by the left tackle.
I think he was potentially down there. And in a lot of situations, you might be able to outrun that guy as an athlete, but not Coleman. This guy is an elite pass rusher with elite athleticism.
Think about this, too, guys. If it was a sack, the clock would keep moving. It does stop the clock because it is an incomplete pass. A few more seconds saved.
Bomb.
Fair catch again at the 10-yard line. Gill with another big punt. And a penalty marker is thrown at the 45-yard line. This is the sack with Coleman just chasing Hockman. Grabbed him by the jersey. Looked like it did get out before his knees hit the ground.
I'm going to agree with you, Adam.
What does that sound mean, Pat? I'm still learning your sounds and noises here at the booth in the first month
After
and
the
a half.
play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, receiving team. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Inside the 10, they get the rock now, Adam.
And Syracuse gets the ball back, down 16-3 inside of 8 to play. Thursday Night Football on ESPN. We'll be out west next week. UCLA goes on the road to take on Stanford. Big win against the Washington Huskies last weekend. Davis Mills, Cameron Scarlett, big rushing attack for Stanford last week.
Yeah, Davis Mills kind of came out of nowhere. We thought KJ Costello was going to be the guy this year, gets hurt. Davis Mills looked excellent. Looking forward to that one.
SMU at Houston. Boy, a lot of drama happening down in Houston right now.
A lot.
A ton with some of the issues in the first year under Dana Holgorsen. We'll have more ACC games on Thursday night. SMU in triple overtime escaped with a victory to stay unbeaten last week. They've got a big game against Temple next week.
That was a great game. I stayed up for that one. It was a late one. It was worth it.
Syracuse trailing by 13. Mo Neal out of the backfield. A big gainer. And he works his way out near the 40-yard line. Again, we've talked about it all night. Cuse has struggled offensively, but still a lot of time.
And a really, really good route by Mo Neal, the running back 21, out of the backfield. It's called a money route, a halfback option route. You get him locked up with a linebacker. He can go in or go out. It's an option route. He breaks out. Excellent route.
Great catch, too. When he had to reach up and grab that thing. And just like we were saying, NC State has let them hang around here in a game that they've been dominating. One good drive for Syracuse. I don't know what happened.
That was called a throwaway.
Smart.
Just like stop you in your tracks right there.
Smart.
You know what happens? Sometimes your clock just goes off.
Yeah.
As a quarterback, you know what, I've held onto this ball too long. I don't want to take a sack. I've been doing that too much. Throw it away. Live to play another down.
Smart.
Second down and 10. DeVito pumped and then takes off with another big run. He started his slide right at the sticks. It'll be a first down at the 45-yard line.
This is 2 times now in the second half that Tommy DeVito has taken to the ground to pick up a first down. In the first half, he continued to look for the pass. Here he is taking it down, picking up a first down yet again in this fourth quarter where they need points.
And DeVito can run. I'm sure he was doing that at Don Bosco Prep, but he's a good runner.
Good thrower, too.
And not a whole lot there, and he's just going to go down at the 45. Lee McNeil was right on him. DeVito didn't look right when he went down there.
It's an awkward fall for sure.
Gingerly walking around a little bit.
I don't really know what happened here. He kind of slides, like a half slide.
Caught a knee there. It looked like right to his back.
We'll hand it off for Mo Neal. Picks up about 4 to the 49-yard line. Clock continues to move now inside of 6 minutes.
See, if you're Syracuse in this situation, you need somebody on your team to say, hey, we've stunk all night, but now we go. Now we go. Needs to be the quarterback, needs to be Mo Neal, maybe even that offensive line. And NC State's like, hey, we get off the field, it's the same thing it's been all night.
Wholesale substitutions on defense here.
Timeout.
Timeout, North Carolina State. Second charge of the half.
Take one more break, step aside, 5.5 to go here in Raleigh. And the mantle for the #2 team behind Clemson in the ACC seems like it's up for grabs. Virginia goes on the road tomorrow night at Miami. Wake Forest is at home on the ACC network against Louisville. We'll see Georgia Tech and Duke. Molly McGrath is on her way down to Clemson, South Carolina. 27-point underdog Seminoles on the road at #2 Clemson. ACC slate this weekend. Penalty marker is thrown before this third down.
Ball start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Ryan Alexander, one of the tackles for Syracuse, continues what has been a very sloppy night for the Syracuse Orange. 9th penalty against Syracuse.
Syracuse came into this game as the 11th most penalized team in counting, trying to crack the top 10 for sure this evening.
77 yards per game on the season so far, 121st in the nation.
And give this crowd some credit. They have been there all night.
More movement off the left side of the line, this time Carlos Vettorello.
Ball start. Offense number 52. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And this D-line, I mean, they are loving it. They love it. This is right where you want to have an offensive line. They're waving their hands. They're getting the crowd up. The student section, they're jumping around.
This is that Mr. Bomba character that I referred to earlier, Mr. Hasselbeck.
Thank you for educating me.
But now, what was a very manageable third down is now 3rd and 16 here in the fourth quarter when you need points.
And Syracuse does this clap snap when they're in shotgun. Back in 2016, they struggled at Clemson. They came up with this clap snap. They practiced with music all week. They thought they were ready for it. Clearly, they were not.
Three-man rush. Abdul Adams needs to make the catch. It'll bring up 4th down. And got to go for it at this point with 5.5 and counting. Down by 2 scores.
Let's go for it and got to go for it quick. And NC State obviously said keep everything in front of you here. They're going to play the sticks. This is obviously a massive play. I mean, it's a 4th down. You have to go for it.
Yeah, and I would hurry. I would not be having a conversation with the umpire. I would hurry it up.
4th down and 7. They need the 45 of NC State. Wolfpack bring another blitz. DeVito trying to run for it, and where are they going to mark it? Right at the 45, and he just barely picked up the 1st down.
That's 3 times in the second half that Tommy DeVito has made a play with his legs to extend the drive. Massive play here by Tommy DeVito.
And they bring a blitz to the weak side. DeVito breaks out to the other side. Excellent run. Almost like willing it to happen.
More pressure from North Carolina State. DeVito for Jackson. Incomplete. Penalty marker is thrown on the play. Looked like maybe Keyshawn Miller was in coverage that time.
Pass interference, he says.
Defensive pass interference. Number 28. That's an automatic 1st down.
A crucial penalty for Miller. Remember, he's taken the spot of Nick McLeod, who's out right now with an injury.
And sometimes taking a pass interference penalty is not the worst thing you can do.
Rather than give up a long play or a touchdown.
When we saw the scramble rules, hey, I'm going deep. He was open, had a chance. You just got to keep him out of the end zone. Make him go the long, hard way. You give up 15 yards, you don't want to give up 6.
Still a 2-possession game. You're right. Little shovel pass up the middle. It's 2nd effort by Aaron Hackett, the tight end. Junior from Venice, Florida, picks up 8 yards.
Nice little wrinkle we haven't seen all evening there with the shovel pass.
Haven't seen it all evening, but I have seen Syracuse score on that play earlier this season. Hackett's got 3 touchdowns. One of them was on that same exact play.
He's got 3 scores all in the last 2 games. Jackson takes it out of bounds inside the 20 to the 18. Still outside of 4 minutes, so the clock continues to move on the referee's signal. Go right back to the screen to Jackson. Still in bounds, takes it down to the 13-yard line.
And guys, I mentioned this is a now and later offense. We're going to just throw it right away, right now, or we're going to go all the way deep. Not much intermediate stuff out of this offense. Not super creative and not very efficient when you're trying to work against the clock right now.
They go right back to that shovel pass to Hackett. Maybe a yard on the play, 3rd down coming up. By the way, I said 4 minutes. Doesn't matter. 2 minutes is the cutoff for the clock stopping going out of bounds.
You're thinking about the NFL.
I was thinking about the NFL.
Some people don't know that rule in the NFL, but that's a...
Yeah, it's a 4-minute rule in the NFL. It's 2 in college.
It's actually 5 minutes in the NFL. We call it 4 minutes. It makes no sense. It's like the Big 12. But there's not 12 teams.
Or the Big 10.
The Big 10.
14 teams.
There you go. They're bad at math.
North Carolina State bringing the heat. One-on-one for Jackson. Incomplete. Keyshawn Miller takes the penalty again.
It's like my good friend Charles Woodson always says, DBs, get your head around. You got to turn back or they're going to throw the flag on you.
Defensive pass interference. Defense. Since the foul occurred in the end zone, ball replaced at the 2. Automatic 1st down.
I enjoyed the defensive pass interference on the defense.
That's on the offense. That is a wild situation. But this is twice now that they've targeted their guy, Jackson, who... And this ref,
he's very thorough.
He's very good at what he's done. I think they've actually called a pretty good evening, by the way. That call, good call. But this sets up Syracuse now.
And again, one-on-one outside, both sides.
Slant, Jackson. Touchdown, Syracuse. They finally get a score with 3 minutes to go, and we've still got a ball game in Raleigh.
NC State has had single coverage all taking advantage of it with Tommy DeVito. Jackson's a guy that the NC State defense said they're going to have nightmares about. He just gets a little slant, little give me that, and DeVito delivers a dime to make it a 16-9, 16-10 game pending extra point.
And that it's the same route at the other end when they were in the red zone that he ran and felt like he was open and was frustrated that DeVito didn't deliver the ball.
Schmidt adds the extra point. 13-play, 94-yard drive with the help of a couple penalties, capped with the TD.
And what happens outside that DB, that corner, thinks you're going to run another fade. So you set him up like you're going to run the fade and whoop, get it right inside, stay flat. Nice touchdown. That is really tough for a DB. Excellent route. And this is one of the better receivers in the game. So I really can't fault Dunlap. That's a tough spot to be in. DeVito delivers a pretty good throw. Excellent route.
By all accounts there, he's an NFL wide receiver. Syracuse, 1-72 when trailing by at least 16 points. Tonight they trailed by 16, and they're making it a game with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
It's just onside kick time right now, but because you still have 2 timeouts if you're Syracuse, you can play defense, maybe stop the clock. You don't necessarily have to go onside
there's
kick
some strategy to, like, how much do you believe in your onside kicker?
That is everything.
How much do you believe in your onside kick plan? Talk to us, Pat.
Well, I think that's a big deal because if you onside kick and you don't get it, now you're setting up NC State for success with only 2 timeouts. They pick up a first down, it's basically over. So sometimes you got to bank on your defense making a play, but it all depends on the talent of your onside kickoff guy. Looks like they're going to be hitting this one.
So you can tell by how he's placing in the tilt of his football what's probably going to happen here.
Yeah, sometimes, unless he hits something, but it looks like they're going to be hitting this one deep. The entire NC State kickoff return team is offsides with their heads above the 45-yard line.
Hoffrichter's going to go deep.
Or he's going out of bounds.
No, it's going to give decent field position at North Carolina State here.
Man, can't do that. Out of all the options.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. Ball being placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
When we finish up here, keep it right here for SportsCenter. Kenny Mayne, Kevin Connors, the left Giants-Patriots post-game reaction tonight. Houston with a huge performance from Garrett Cole for the second time in the series. Beats Tampa Bay to move on to the American League Championship Series. We'll hear from the first-time WNBA champs, the Washington Mystics, win their first title. All that coming up on SportsCenter when we're done here on ESPN and the ESPN app. You guys were talking about it. Field position crucial now because if you can get the stop, you get a shorter field to try to go down. That's why that penalty's huge. Give me a sense of this series that you're seeing now.
That was tough. That was a terrible kickoff.
Yeah, that was not good. I mean, you can attempt to keep the ball in place. You can go make a deep play with all the onside hands team out there. But now if NC State can accrue a couple first downs here, with 2 timeouts, they wasted a timeout, remember, on a poor decision earlier. That's going to come back and bite them in the ass, potentially.
That is their second charge.
It's real. It's a real thing.
You called it. You guys talked about the timeout at the time where they didn't have a plan after an injury timeout, had to spend a timeout at one point. So now only 1 left as Dino Babers uses his second one to stop the clock at 2:50.
And I was going to say, if you're a quarterback in the huddle, or in this case, you have the coaches on the sideline or near the sideline, you're huddled up. Here's what you're saying to your runners. Here's what you're saying to your huddle. You're saying protect the ball. Protect the ball at all costs. To the offensive line, you're saying no penalties. You're saying to everybody on the field, stay in bounds. Those are the 3 keys. Even to your quarterback after a handoff, they're saying don't worry about carrying out your naked bootleg. Maybe follow the ball. In case that ball pops out, we would appreciate 1 extra guy there to fall on the ball. Protect the football at all costs.
Bailey Hockman, who doesn't have a proper N on the back of his jersey tonight, by the way. It's a backwards N at the end of those new jerseys. In his first career start, trying to get his team to the finish line. Houston swallowed up, got wrapped up by Christopher Frederick, and Dino Babers will use his final timeout with 2:48 remaining. Must have stop right now for Syracuse if they want to stay in this game. That's the jersey for Bailey Hockman tonight. Again, awesome jerseys tonight. The snow camos are awesome for NC State, but a little backwards end there for Bailey Hockman.
That's a come on man nominee, I would say. That's happened to me, though. I'm sure, like, if you play football long enough, sometimes that stuff happens.
Yeah, I mean, my first game with ESPN, they spelled my name wrong.
In fairness, Because your name is spelled sort of awkward.
Okay.
I'm just,
I agree.
not to be offensive.
It is a bit offensive. I'm sure the Scots really appreciate what you did there, and the Irish. But you can see how people would spell it wrong. The backwards N, I think it's a little bit swag, by the way. I kind of like it.
I embrace it, right? Own it.
Yeah.
Just own it.
Keep it for the rest of the year, especially if you get a win. Let's not break anything. He's not superstitious. He's a little stitious. It might be the backwards N.
Going back a little bit, I said a 13-point lead is the worst lead in football because you feel like you're way up, but you're really not. They get a stop here. Syracuse is right back in it, and they've got the weapons, and DeVito has shown he's got the arm to get something done downfield.
Trying to get a first down to essentially end the game. Oh, they ran it with Hoffman, and Armstrong was not fooled. Stopped them at the 41-yard line. Fourth down is coming up here.
And it's actually not the worst thing that could happen because the clock is still moving. But Syracuse basically said, we know you're going to run the ball.
Incredible stick there by Armstrong.
He's the second leading tackler, Pat.
That's a great read on that. Just sticks with his discipline, sticks with the quarterback, doesn't bite for the play action, the RPO, and bang, now we have they're going for it. Wait a minute, a little tempo here. NC State. Syracuse is caught in the middle of something.
Are they trying to catch him off sides potentially because it's 4th and 4? You get a 5-yard penalty, you get the first down, and the game's over.
Smart.
They might take the penalty or take a timeout here. Little surprise that time. Nice wrinkle there. Dave Doran. Let's say this too. Syracuse has been undisciplined all night. I give them a lot of credit for not jumping off sides there. We've seen too many penalties against Cuse.
The old fake like you're going to go out for the punt team. Go outside the hashes and then bring everybody back. Trying to catch Syracuse with maybe too many men. Trying to catch them sleeping and then try to draw them off sides. It's really a no-lose situation, especially if you know you're going to use a timeout.
And
both teams now out of timeouts with 1:56 left.
And a credit to the special teams coaching staff and to the Syracuse Orange for being ready for it.
Sure.
I mean, really, that could have sealed the deal right there.
Yeah.
And instead, they're back in it. Pat, do you go with a return? You go with a block?
I think you go for a block because this kid's hit a lot of big balls here.
And Syracuse has been very aggressive on their punt blocks this season. Gill gets off one to about the 20. It'll be down just inside the 25-yard line by Joe Shipko, the freshman long snapper. Last series, Syracuse finally got a touchdown. It started with that nice play to Neal.
It really did. We went to the running back. A lot of successful drives start with a throw to the running back, and they also usually happen when you have a quarterback run, and that was a big one on 4th down. It helps when you have a penalty somewhere along the way. And then the ball on the 2-yard line, your best receiver with his best route, making it look easy.
So after all of the attrition, after the anemic offense that Syracuse has put out, finally starting to put it together in the 4th and an opportunity to maybe take the lead and maybe win it on the road. Tommy DeVito from the 24. Starts with a completion to Riley, picks up 6, clock continues to move.
No timeouts here. Going to see a lot of maturity out of Tommy DeVito, whether or not he can handle this situation.
And guys, he's held on to the ball tonight when he could have thrown it away, and he's taking sacks. You got to throw the ball away now.
Well, get rid of it fast. They get the first down. Clock will stop momentarily to reset the chains as Riley takes it to the 39-yard line.
And Riley's got a nice little feel in the slot.
Just a 3-man rush from NC State. Abdul Adams out of the backfield. Takes it into NC State territory. Moore makes the tackle. Clock stops on the first down momentarily again.
NC State knows they need a touchdown. They've kind of been in a little bit of prevent here. Let them do their thing. About a minute left now. What's going to happen? NC State's going to have to get a stop.
And they've been banged up. They lost Smith Williams earlier in the game.
Another 3-man rush. Out of the backfield, it's Adams again. Tackled by Asus. Clock continues to move as he takes it to the 39-yard line. 45 seconds and counting. Tommy DeVito, redshirt sophomore, taking over as the starter this year, trying to lead a game-winning drive in a conference game. Blitz from the Wolfpack, and a penalty marker is thrown from the far side of the field. This is going to go against Syracuse, it looks like. Inside of a minute, potential 10-second runoff as well.
Coach Babers is back on the field, angry about something.
He is past the numbers on the field. Quarterback got hit after the whistle is what he's saying.
Remember, the clock was moving on the last play, and if this is a penalty against Syracuse, this is a potential 10-second runoff, and you can't stop it because there's no timeouts.
Offense number 52. By rules, since the clock was running, there will be a 10-second runoff. Please remove 10 seconds from the game clock, 23 seconds.
Deontay Holden, number 55 there for NC State. Didn't hear the whistle.
And the clock will start on my signal.
A little pump fake by the ref yet again. Deontay Holden, though, got a shot on the QB there after the whistle was blown, and that's what Babers lost his mind for.
Yeah, and if you go back to the Tulane versus Houston game, this was penalized in that game, not penalized here tonight.
Can you review that?
I doubt it.
They might also be taking a look at the clock potentially just to make sure they have the right amount of time taken off. They do have it at 23 now after the runoff. Well, let's see what the officials are going to take a look at right now. ACC crew uses collaborative replay with their replay center in Greensboro.
We all know this 7-inch screen is in 5K.
First of its kind, I'm sure.
They're not using it. They're actually looking at the Jumbotron.
I'm sure
this is smart.
I'm sure they have high def in the replay booth, Pat.
A lot happened there, though. False start and then the potential late hit there would offset, right? So you wouldn't lose 10 seconds because there would be penalties on both sides.
It depends if it's a dead ball penalty, though, as well. That would eventually stop the clock. You wouldn't actually start the clock on the referee's signal, which would be a huge break for Syracuse.
And that's why Babers was all the way on the field.
After review, the clock will be corrected. After the 10-second removal, there will be 24 seconds left in the half, and the game clock will start on my signal.
So it was the clock that they wanted to look at. And listen, 1 second, every second counts right now.
That is true. What is also true is I think Tommy DeVito can reach the end zone from where they are right now on the field. So they got to get up on the ball and be ready to snap this when the ball is ready for play. Here's the review on the clock. Again, that was flagged in the Tulane-Houston game, not flagged tonight. Syracuse has a chance to win it, even with all of this.
5 in the pattern for DeVito. Rifles over the middle, incomplete. Was looking for Jackson. That will stop the clock with 17 seconds remaining. And it brings up 3rd down.
And it's good that that was incomplete, because that doesn't help you any. DeVito can get home. You're going to find one-on-one coverage somewhere on this field right now. You should be throwing it up, I think, to the end zone right now.
They got 2 pass interferences last drive. Haven't really gone for it yet. 17 seconds left here.
5 in the pattern again, just a 3-man rush for NC State. DeVito cannot take a sack, here and he does! Lorraine Murchison, the big man up front. 4th down, can they get a snap off? 2 seconds, 1 second. Penalty markers are thrown. The clock is at 000.
All right, the game's not over. The game's not over.
Riley Johnson shutting it down fast. Hey, it's not over
Don't
just yet.
celebrate. Don't even think about it.
Ball start. Offense number 64.
Now it's over.
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Oh, no, beg your
That
pardon.
play is under review.
Beg your pardon.
That play is under review.
Let me take that back, because the previous play was an incompletion. The clock was already stopped. There is no runoff. Beg your pardon. There is no runoff.
No, the previous play was a sack.
But I was just saying, for the false start, there would be no runoff for that. That's all I was
This
making
foul
sure.
qualifies for a 10-second runoff.
Thanks.
Yeah,
the sack happens.
We had the incompletion, then we had the sack, then we had the false start.
Now I see. Okay, that last play was the false start. So the 4th down play was the false start after the sack while the clock was moving.
I think we're all in bewilderment that he took the sack.
Yes.
I think that's really the...
Because he had a chance to throw it away a couple of times.
So let's clarify that one more time. The clock was moving after the sack, and they called a false start on the 4th down penalty. This game's over.
After review, the game is over.
Hey, big-time win for NC State here on primetime television. Coach Doran is getting the crowd jacked up just like he did before the game, throwing T-shirts. shirts out there. Boo Corrigan, the athletic director, said NC State wants to be the premier school in North Carolina. They were dominant tonight.
Well done by the officials, clarified everything. Everything was to the book. A very rocky night offensively for Tommy DeVito. Ends with the 8th sack of the night for North Carolina State. Their defense won them this game. They hold out the fourth quarter surge. They get their first ACC victory of the season, 16-10 over Syracuse.
And if you're Syracuse, you're going to be sick because you were in this game. You had chances. You underachieved. You underperformed. But you were right there. But for NC State, what a game. And for Bailey Hockman, you will never forget this one.
Sports Center coming up in 15 seconds.
Cheers.